Proposed 99 times and got rejected. Now the campus belle in black stockings begs me on her knees. After being rejected 99 times by the campus belle, Jiang Muye received the Rejection Sugar Daddy System. Ding! Congratulations, host. You've gained charm 99, and as a reward, you get 10 million. As their whole school waited for Jiang Muye to propose for the 100th time, they were instead stunned when the girl showed up wearing black stockings and a ring, kneeling before him, saying, Jiang Muye, I'm bringing my own dowry of 300,000 and a Maserati. Just marry me. Jiang Muye coldly replied. Sorry, I don't eat soft rice. Everyone thought Jiang Muye was ungrateful, but little did they know, with his billions in wealth, he had the campus belles falling head over heels for him. Chapter 1, 99 Rejections. Evening, South City University. Look, Jiang Muye is going to propose to Summer Belle again on the playground. The excited shout immediately caught the attention of other students. Again? Is this his 99th proposal? Has he not given up yet? He's so persistent, proposing at 8 every day, rain or shine. He must really like Summer Belle. A group of students hurried toward the playground, afraid to miss the spectacle. The field was already set up romantic and dreamy. Pink rose petals and balloons covered the track, and candles were arranged in a heart shape. A tall figure stood there, holding a bouquet of roses. The young man had neat black hair, striking features, and a refreshing, clean aura. His white shirt hung loosely on his tall, slender frame, exuding a carefree vibe. Bathed in the moonlight, he was both radiant and dazzling. Despite the murmurs from the crowd, Jiang Muye remained calm and unbothered, holding his head high, neither humble nor arrogant. This handsome young man was the protagonist of the day, Jiang Muye. Many girls secretly admired him, all falling for his good looks and blushing in silence. Why does Jiang Muye seem even more handsome lately? I hope he fails this time, maybe then I'll have a chance. Don't get your hopes up. He's a love expert, only interested in Summer Belle. He's not going to fall for anyone else. As the girls swooned, a nearby guy threw cold water on them. That's not love expertise, that's just being a simp. They have an arranged marriage, but Summer Belle clearly isn't interested, or he wouldn't have been rejected 99 times. He added with glee, I bet Summer Belle will reject him again. He'll be planning his 100th proposal soon. The girls shook their heads in pity. Jiang Muye was handsome, smart, but too single-minded. He only had eyes for Summer Belle and was devoted to her. Despite all the girls around him, he never gave them a second glance. Even if his proposal failed, they still had no chance. While everyone was gossiping, someone from the back row excitedly shouted, Summer Belle is here. Everyone quickly turned to look at the entrance of the field. A stunning girl appeared, surrounded by her 3 close friends. As one of the university's for top belles, Summer Sharan was naturally beautiful. Surrounded by her friends, she stood out even more. With waist-length hair, a soft, oval face, and clear, serene eyes, Summer Sharan glanced at Jiang Muye without showing much emotion. Her beauty could make women feel inferior, and her figure could make men drool. Dressed in a light purple form-fitting tracksuit, her graceful figure and shapely legs made her the center of attention. Each step she took seemed to defy gravity. Seeing her, Jiang Muye's lips curled into a smile. Finally, the 99th proposal had arrived. Without hesitation, he walked up, dropped to one knee, presented the flowers, and from his pocket, he pulled out a velvet ring box. He opened it quickly, revealing a sparkling DR diamond ring. His actions were smooth, so practiced it was almost painful. Yet, for the girls watching, their hearts fluttered with excitement. Only Summer Sharan remained calm as ever. With unwavering determination, Jiang Muye, gazing into her eyes, loudly declared, This is my 99th proposal to you. I've skipped confession and gone straight to proposing because I want a relationship with you, one that leads to marriage. The more I look at you, the more I like you. I've never liked anyone this much. You've made me break all my rules. I'm someone who gets bored easily and never sticks with anything, but I've stuck with proposing to you 99 times. You've taken away so many of my firsts. My first poem written for someone, my first time cooking, my first time waiting at the girls' dorm for breakfast, my first time waiting for someone on time. Jiang Muye's voice softened, his eyes filled with unspeakable tenderness, bringing the crowd into his deep infatuation. Many girls were moved, lost in his passion. Such a devoted man was rare to find these days. If they were Summer Sharan, they would have already jumped into Jiang Muye's arms by now. But Summer Sharan's sharp eyes narrowed slightly, clearly uninterested. Starry sky burning hot, you're my ideal person on earth. Jiang Muye gazed at her intently, loudly declaring, Summer Sharan, please marry me. I want the simple life with you, the rice, the oil, the salt, and growing old together. You're my everything. I hope the kite has wind, the dolphin has the sea, and I can have you. His passionate confession echoed across the entire field. People began to speculate. She has to agree this time, right? Jiang Muye almost made me cry. That SADR diamond ring, meant for one person in a lifetime. How romantic. Summer Belle has to say yes. You girls don't get it. If she wanted to, she'd have said yes long ago. How could she reject him 98 times if she was interested? No chance. But Jiang Muye ignored the rumors. His eyes burned with hope as he waited for Summer Sharan's answer. With a furrowed brow, Summer Sharan calmly asked, Are you done? Yes. Jiang Muye saw Summer Sharan walk toward him, his heart rate quickening, temperature rising. Was she finally going to say yes? As she approached, the crowd became more excited. Wow, is she going to accept this proposal? Are we about to have our first newlywed couple in the college? Those who said it wouldn't work, stand up. Let me show you. Jiang Muye is handsome and dedicated. Summer Sharan will definitely say yes. Chapter 2, Activating the Godly Rich System. Jiang Muye smiled, his eyes filled with admiration as he gazed at Summer Sharan. Her stunning face was right in front of him. Summer Sharan glanced briefly at the diamond ring that Jiang Muye held up in the air and said, You can move now. You're delaying my run. The smile on Jiang Muye's face instantly froze. He felt a sharp chill pass through him. Summer Sharan calmly put on her headphones, brushed past him, and started running around the track. Around them, there was a stunned silence. What's going on? Did Summer Belle not accept his proposal? Jiang Muye is such a great guy, why would she reject him? Even Summer Sharan's close friends felt sorry for him. Jiang Muye was so devoted, yet Summer Sharan had rejected him time and time again. But, as Summer Sharan's friends, they quickly rushed to catch up with her as she ran. The students who had been watching the drama now snickered with schadenfreude. Proposing to Summer Sharan was never going to work. She was a top student and a campus beauty, with so many boys admiring her. She was still so young, why would she settle for just one guy when there were so many options? Jiang Muye's brow furrowed. He felt a sharp pain in his chest. When he proposed for the first time, he had been shy and unsure of himself. Proposing? It was so difficult. He had no experience. He was awkward, stumbling through his lines. But after 99 proposals, Jiang Muye had accumulated plenty of experience. And yet, he still faced rejection. Each failure, each repeated heartache, was excruciating. Ding! Congratulations to their host for completing the task of 99 proposals. You have now successfully activated the Reject Soft Rice system. Men must be strong and strive to become wealthy. A system notification echoed in Jiang Muye's mind. The sympathy from the crowd toward Jiang Muye shifted as he raised his head, his eyes glimmering with newfound resolve. The task was complete. His comeback started today. After entering university, Jiang Muye had discovered that the fiancée he had an arranged marriage with was, in fact, Summer Sharan, the girl he had liked for a long time. Now, he had activated the Reject Soft Rice system. System activation conditions: propose 99 times. Regardless of whether or not the system activated, Jiang Muye had simply wanted to marry Summer Sharan, and so he had resolutely proposed. At first, Jiang Muye thought that one failed proposal might not be a big deal, but surely after 10 proposals, she would agree. However, after 99 proposals, Summer Sharan still firmly rejected him. Boom. Thunder rumbled in the sky, and dark clouds covered the heavens. Heavy raindrops began to fall. The others had already fled in panic, drenched like drowned rats. Summer Sharan, who had been jogging with her friends, quickly ran with them to the nearby overhang to shelter from the rain. As she wiped the rain from her face with a tissue, one of her friends, Yuan, exclaimed, Why hasn't Jiang Muye left yet? Summer Sharan's heart skipped a beat, and she quickly turned to look. There, on the rubber track, stood a desolate figure. Raindrops were falling onto his dark hair, soaking through his white shirt, making it cling to his body. But he kept his head lowered, silent and unmoving. Summer Sharan's lips twitched, clearly feeling a bit anxious. Why was he so stubborn? Didn't he know to find shelter from the rain? Just as she was about to run toward him, her bespectacled friend grabbed her arm. Sharan, you're not going to find him, are you? With deep concern, Summer Sharan replied, I can't just let him stand there in the rain. If you go over now, won't that mean you're accepting his proposal? Don't be foolish. You can't choose love over everything else. You're a model student, you need to focus on getting into a good graduate program. You still want to be a female postdoc, don't you? Her friend said seriously. Summer Sharan bit her lip, troubled. She was torn. But there's nothing wrong with being a housewife and mother, at least you'd be with the person you love. Sharan, do you like Jiang Muye? Yuan asked. I don't know. Summer Sharan stammered, her face turning bright red. I've never been in a relationship before. Since childhood, Summer Sharan had been the model student, always focused on getting good grades and pleasing others. She never thought about how to like someone. But now, seeing Jiang Muye standing there, so lonely and drenched in the rain, her heart felt a strange ache. So, had she fallen for him? I like him. I have to go find him. Summer Sharan suddenly realized, her heart leaping. Before she could move, her bespectacled friend doused her excitement with cold water, saying, liking someone and being with them are two different things. If you start dating now, your studies will suffer, and your future will be at risk. Won't you regret it later? Summer Sharan hesitated, her feet frozen in place. The pressure was overwhelming. Which was more important, love or academics? If she chose love, would she regret abandoning her studies? Biting her lip, Summer Sharan stood still for a few seconds, then, instinctively, walked back toward her friends. We should go back to the dorm, she said, her voice heavy. Yuan looked at her, surprised. Aren't you going to find him? I need to secure my graduate program spot. I don't want to make any mistakes now, Summer Sharan said, taking a deep breath. The rest of her friends felt regretful. It would be such a shame to miss out on a passionate love like this. Especially since Jiang Muye was so handsome and so devoted to Summer Sharan. Surely graduate school couldn't be more appealing than love. But once Summer Sharan had made up her mind, no one could change it. They reluctantly followed her back to the dorm. Suddenly, Yuan exclaimed. Isn't he that cold Belle? What is she doing here? Summer Sharan immediately followed Yuan's gaze. Through the rain and dark clouds, the downpour growing stronger, Jiang Muye stood there, his wet hair dripping. His body was cold, but his heart was colder. As the heavy rain blurred his vision, something appeared above him, shielding him. The sound of raindrops hitting an umbrella filled his ears. Don't get wet, you'll catch a cold. A soft, melodious voice rang out. Jiang Muye's heart trembled, and he immediately looked up. Under the night sky, a slender figure stood close to him. She had long, deep brown hair that reached her waist, her hair shining beautifully. But even more captivating than her hair was her stunning face. Her beauty was breathtaking. Her skin was as white as ivory, and her large, bright eyes shimmering a pure, light blue made him lose his focus with just one glance. She wore a white JK shirt, slightly unbuttoned at the collar, revealing her delicate, slender neck and beautiful collarbones. A black velvet ribbon was tied around her neck, and her enticing cleavage peeked through, faintly visible. Her plaid skirt accentuated her waist, and her long, straight legs looked as if they were made of marble, graceful and flawless. Chapter 3, He Will Propose Again for the 100th Time. However, her overall demeanor was cold, with her beautiful eyes carrying a hint of frost. Jiang Muye was very surprised. As the number one of the for campus belles, Leng Ruoli, was actually holding an umbrella for him. Leng Ruoli was a transfer student, incredibly beautiful, but with a very cold personality. She liked to be alone, often sitting quietly in corners, yet her stunning looks and perfect figure made her a goddess among the boys. Wherever she went, she would attract attention. Jiang Muye had heard other male students excitedly discuss her and had seen Leng Ruoli a few times before, but he never paid her much attention. Leng Ruoli was beautiful, yes, but at that time, his heart only had room for Xia Sharan. Naturally, he didn't focus much on her. Yet now, she was holding an umbrella for him. Not only was Jiang Muye shocked, but even Xia Shiran and her friends were stunned. Yuan said in surprise, "How is Leng Ruoli here? Do they know each other? So many boys chase after her, but she has always been indifferent to them. I've never seen her approach anyone." She even made a bold assumption: could it be that Leng Ruoli likes Jiang Muye? As soon as those words were spoken, Xia Shiran felt her heart tighten. She looked at the scene of the two standing not far away, and it suddenly stung her eyes. Xia Shiran had always thought of herself as good-looking, with a decent family background, but after seeing Leng Ruoli, she had to admit that there were always others who were better. Leng Ruoli had fairer skin, a better figure, better grades, a small waist, long legs, and even a fuller chest. Her family background was also superior. Leng Ruoli was the daughter of a powerful business family. Her family owned more than 50 companies. It was said that her father had donated a building and sports equipment to the school, and to ensure she ate well, they even opened a private restaurant on campus just for her. If Leng Ruoli liked Jiang Muye, then what chance did she have? She would be completely overshadowed by Leng Ruoli. Leng Ruoli was so perfect, it was almost unbelievable. Xia Shiran gazed at her jealously, but she noticed that Leng Ruoli didn't seem as cold as usual. Her gaze had softened significantly. She couldn't hear what they were saying, but she could clearly see that Leng Ruoli's face was turning bright red. Could it be that she really liked him? At that moment, Leng Ruoli looked at Jiang Muye's handsome face, and her heart raced wildly. She was clearly nervous, looking up at him and saying, "Let us go, the rain is getting heavier." "Leng Ruoli, why are you holding the umbrella for me? Are you?" Jiang Muye glanced at Leng Ruoli's beautiful face, then quickly changed the subject. "Did we meet before?" At first, Jiang Muye wanted to ask directly if Leng Ruoli liked him, but he thought it would be too abrupt. What if she said no? Wouldn't he seem too narcissistic? Besides, Leng Ruoli was so popular, with countless boys pursuing her. He had no connection with her, so surely she couldn't have a secret crush on him, right? Leng Ruoli's large eyes blinked rapidly, her face full of nervousness and shyness. She glanced at Jiang Muye's shoulder. A thin shirt, wet from the rain, now revealed a deep and horrifying scar beneath. Leng Ruoli suddenly felt guilty. After all this time, he still had a scar. She definitely owed him this. Without hesitation, Leng Ruoli stepped closer, looked up seriously, and said to Jiang Muye, "I'm here to return the umbrella." "Return the umbrella?" "Yes, return the umbrella. Last weekend, I didn't have one, and you came down and gave me yours," Leng Ruoli said, her cheeks turning red as she inhaled the crisp scent around him. "Thank you." Jiang Muye then realized, "So it was you?" Last weekend, when he went downstairs, he saw a girl caught in the rain. He had an extra umbrella, so he gave it to her without thinking. At the time, he didn't think much of it. He would have given an umbrella to any person, male or female. He couldn't just let someone get drenched. But he hadn't known that it was Leng Ruoli. After all, she had been wearing a medical mask and a black beret, so her face was hidden. "I'm sorry, I was in a hurry, and I only have one umbrella," Leng Ruoli said sincerely, looking at Jiang Muye. "Let me take you to the male dormitory first." She was anxious. She was afraid Jiang Muye would refuse. Jiang Muye looked at the increasing rain, and seeing that rainwater was already soaking through Leng Ruoli's hair, he didn't hesitate anymore. "Let us go." The umbrella was small and couldn't fit both of them, so Jiang Muye held it mostly over Leng Ruoli to keep her dry. As they walked, the corner of Jiang Muye's shirt was gently tugged. Leng Ruoli raised her eyes, glistening with moisture, and softly said, "You can walk a little closer. It's fine." She took hold of his hand that was holding the umbrella. Jiang Muye's heart began to race. This was the first time he had touched a girl's hand. Her skin was soft and fair. Unknowingly, his heart began to burn. He wasn't used to it. Flustered, he quickly moved his hand away, afraid that there would be more contact with Leng Ruoli. He didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. "All right, as you say." Leng Ruoli looked at him closely, her cheeks blushing. Her eyes were filled with deep infatuation. Xia Shiran saw it all clearly. Xia Shiran's eyes immediately reddened. Not long ago, Jiang Muye had proposed to her, and now, Leng Ruoli was actively holding an umbrella for him. The sight of them standing together, so perfectly in sync, was beautiful and harmonious. Seeing Jiang Muye walking toward her direction, Xia Shiran's confidence reignited. If Jiang Muye had proposed to her 99 times, it must mean he liked her. No matter how much Leng Ruoli liked Jiang Muye, what could that change? Xia Shiran lifted her chin in pride, waiting for Jiang Muye to see her, then hurriedly explained that he had nothing going on with Leng Ruoli. He would reaffirm that his heart belonged only to her. He was getting closer now. Their eyes met. He was definitely coming to explain. Xia Shiran's eyes brightened. However, Xia Shiran was mistaken. Jiang Muye coldly averted his gaze, walking past her with Leng Ruoli and heading in the opposite direction. Xia Shiran's heart was crushed. Her gaze was frozen, her lips trembling as she whispered, "Why did he leave?" Her friends noticed that something was off with Xia Shiran and quickly tried to comfort her. "Xia Shiran, don't overthink it. He probably didn't see you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have just walked away like that. Yeah, the rain is pouring, and he must be in a hurry to avoid getting wet." Yuan, however, suddenly said, "But he proposed to you 99 times, and you never agreed. He must be really upset. Now that Leng Ruoli is making a move, maybe she is taking advantage of the situation." Xia Shiran's face turned pale, her worries swallowing her up. No, that couldn't be true. He liked her so much. He had waited for her so persistently. How could he so easily start liking someone else? Realizing this, Xia Shiran stubbornly replied, "That's impossible. Tomorrow at this time, he will definitely propose again for the 100th time." Her friend, wearing glasses, asked, "If he proposes again for the 100th time, will you still refuse?" Chapter 4, She only needs one proposal to marry him. I won't refuse. I want to be with him. Xia Shiran has realized how important Jiang Muye is in her heart. Reading is important, but love is also important. She didn't want to miss it this time. Jiang Muye naturally saw Xia Shiran just now. But when he thought of Xia Shiran's indifference, he became disheartened. There's nothing wrong with being alone, so why lose your pride? Jiang Muye was not stupid enough to continue to degenerate and put his dignity in front of the other party, only to be trampled upon by the other party. Paying attention to Xia Shiran had become a behavior, so this time he didn't care about Xia Shiran, which almost used up all of Jiang Muye's courage. But fortunately, he finally did it bravely. After taking Leng Ruoli to the bottom of the female dormitory, Jiang Muye said gratefully, "Thank you for today." "It's okay," Leng Ruoli asked tentatively, "Are you okay?" His face looked so haggard and tired. Leng Ruoli felt very distressed. How much she wanted him to be the one she liked. She doesn't need to propose 99 times, just once and she will marry him. Jiang Muye forced a smile, "Of course I'm fine, I'm an indestructible cockroach." "Okay," Leng Ruoli tried to smile. "I'm leaving first." Jiang Muye nodded calmly and ran in the rain holding an umbrella. Watching the slender figure gradually disappearing from her sight, Leng Ruoli felt both happy and worried. The good news is that Jiang Muye's proposal was unsuccessful, and she still has a chance. What worries her is that she doesn't want to see the person she loves continue to get hurt. In the past, it was Jiang Muye who protected her. Now it was her turn to protect Jiang Muye. Congratulations to their host, you have successfully signed in once in the dormitory and won 1 million RMB. The system message sounded. Jiang Muye saw that 1 million RMB had been credited to his account on the balance panel. The system was much more profitable than he had imagined. As expected, if you fail in love, you will have some small amount of money to soothe your wounded heart. After Jiang Muye took the umbrella, he wrung the water out of his clothes and hurried to the dormitory. As soon as he entered the door, Jiang Muye was overwhelmed by the smell. Wow, did the school cesspool explode? It stinks. Jiang Muye pinched his nose and began to back away towards the door. He found his 3 roommates sitting around a small stool cooking snail noodles. The smell was stinking. Jiang Muye began to have difficulty breathing. It's not smelly at all, it smells really good, one bite would make you feel like a god. Old, he snorted, it's a pity you can't get used to it, it's less fun. Chen Ji, who was slurping noodles, looked up at Jiang Muye's wet appearance, and immediately jumped up from the stool and ran to the balcony to collect clothes. Oh my god, it's raining, and I haven't collected my underwear yet. Go to hell, you little pigeon. I thought you cared about me, but it turns out that your stinky pants are more important to you. Jiang Muye was furious. Chen Ji has fair skin and his name sounds like pigeon, so everyone in the dormitory calls him Little White Pigeon. Little White Dove confidently took in a few pairs of shorts and said, "If you don't take them in, what will I wear? Are you going to run naked? Besides, it's not like you haven't been caught in the rain before. You beast. Listen to what you are saying." Jiang Muye rolled up his sleeves and prepared to teach Little White Pigeon a lesson. The dormitory head Kaisi quickly threw a towel to Jiang Muye and said, "Hurry up and wipe yourself with the towel and change your clothes, otherwise you will really catch a cold." Kaisi is still a man of loyalty and righteousness. Jiang Muye chuckled. "I'm not bad to you either. Look, I know you didn't have dinner and you don't like snail noodles, so I went to the cafeteria to get you a hot meal. I also have your favorite braised pork with preserved vegetables, which is so expensive, and it costs 6 yuan per serving," the Little White Dove shouted. Jiang Muye took a look and saw that there was indeed a lunchbox on his desk. At that moment, I was really touched. Although these three people are carefree and seem heartless, they actually have sharp tongues but soft hearts. After Jiang Muye wiped his hair, he changed into clean clothes and put them in the dirty clothes basket. "I plan to take it to the laundry room to wash it tomorrow." At this time, he heard Lao his strange voice. "Muzi, you have an umbrella, why are you still getting wet in the rain?" Jiang Muye sighed, "It's a long story." Little White Dove said, "It's concise and to the point. It's just that he was rejected by the school beauty shear again. Otherwise, how could he get wet in the rain?" Jiang Muye walked over and patted Little White Pigeon's back heavily, gritted his teeth and said, "Don't talk if you can eat." The Little White Dove almost choked. Kaisi said earnestly, "Muzi, listen to my advice, nothing is difficult in the world as long as you are willing to give up. If this one doesn't work, let's find another girl, there are so many people who like you anyway." "Lao," he said, "all of our roommates have girlfriends, but you are still single. You are lowering the single rate in our room." Little White Dove nodded, "You're right. They say it takes a lot of effort for a man to chase a woman. Yours is Mount Everest. I've proposed to you 99 times, but you're still unmoved. Do you want to graduate and still be single?" Jiang Muye opened his lunchbox and started eating. He said, "What's wrong with being a single dog? If you don't have a woman in your heart, you will be a god when you draw your sword." After experiencing these 99 painful proposals, Jiang Muye has come to terms with it. He used to think that others would choose to turn back after hitting the wall, but he hit the wall with the intention of pushing it down. Finally, he found out that he was wrong. If he wants to push the wall, he has to be pushed by others. It was obvious that Xia Shiran didn't mean that. "When I got caught in the rain, she showed no concern. When I burned my hand while cooking for her, she just glanced at me and said nothing." He proposed 99 times because he didn't want to regret not giving it his all one day in the future, and now he doesn't plan to continue simply because he doesn't want to humiliate himself. "I've drunk the strongest liquor, loved the worst person, never looked back before, and don't want to settle in the future." After hearing this, the three roommates let out a long sigh. To be honest, they felt really bad for Jiang Muye. He is abused by the school beauty shear time and time again, but he still remains deeply in love with her. This school beauty shear, apart from having a pretty face, good academic performance and a good family background, is not worthy of Jiang Muye. But love cannot be completely destroyed just because outsiders do not look favorably upon it. They could only pray in their hearts that school beauty Xia would abuse Jiang Muye less when Jiang Muye proposed to her for the 100th time tomorrow. A woman abuses her brothers, so as brothers, they naturally have to treat Jiang Muye twice as well as the woman. Old He took out the country chicken drumstick that he was reluctant to eat, put it on Jiang Muye's table, and said, "Muzi, here, I'm full tonight, I'll give it to you." The Little White Pigeon said, "I'm sorry for adding pickled bamboo shoots to the snail noodle this time. I won't add it next time." Kaisi said, "Here, I made you some 999 cold relief granules. Don't really catch a cold, or our entire dormitory will suffer." Jiang Muye looked at the three people's caring expressions and laughed. "What did you do wrong?" Little White Pigeon spat, "Bullshit, I just used your LOL account to lose 10 games in a row." Jiang Muye exploded, "Little White Pigeon, you deserve a beating." "I'm just kidding. Look how anxious you are. I've spent all my time cooking snail noodles. How can I have time to log into your account?" Jiang Muye scolded with a smile. All right, you guys finish eating the snail noodles quickly and open the window for ventilation. The smell makes Dad want to vomit. It feels like eating a snail noodle lunchbox. The little white pigeon offered a mouthful of noodles in a nagging manner. Come on, have a bite, it's the most delicious food in the world. Fuck, I'm going to kick you, get out of here. Why are you so angry? I don't have enough to eat, so I'm giving it to you. The little white dove continued to slurp the noodles happily. Jiang Muye ate without any smile. The depression of being rejected in his heart slowly faded away as he joked around with his brothers. At this moment, the system panel reminders continue. Congratulations on signing in successfully in the dormitory and winning 500,000 renminbi. Congratulations on signing in for 5 minutes in the dormitory and receiving 100,000 renminbi. Congratulations on signing in the dormitory for 10 minutes, you will receive 200,000 renminbi and a chance to win a prize. Lottery. Jiang Muye was quite interested. What can he draw? Chapter 5. Jiang Muye didn't propose. Jiang Muye immediately started clicking on the lottery. Soon, the gifts appeared on the lottery page. Congratulations to their host, you have obtained a brand new Apple 13 Pro Max, which is now in your drawer, please check it carefully. In addition to giving money, can you also give a mobile phone as a gift? A mobile phone is what Jiang Muye needs most right now. My old phone is too slow and has little memory. I originally wanted to wait until Double 11 to buy a mobile phone, but now that I have the system, I don't have to buy a new phone at all. Jiang Muye checked it and found it was a real Apple phone, 512G. A conscientious system gave me a genuine product. After Jiang Muye changed the memory card, he started using an iPhone. Playing games with an Apple is much smoother. Come on, let's play some games. Jiang Muye planned to play a game to calm his wounded heart. He was just picking up his phone when he saw Jiang Muye's phone. He was stunned and surprised. When did you buy the iPhone? It's the new iPhone 13. Muye, you won't be tempted to spend ahead of time, will you? You don't know how to take out online loans, right? Don't touch that. Kaizi became serious. Little white pigeon took Jiang Muye's phone and played with it, from Warkiangbi. Fuck you, it's authentic, what's wrong, I can't use my phone properly. Don't worry, I don't have any online loans, I just want to change my phone, why are you all so excited? After hearing Jiang Muye's words, the three of them breathed a sigh of relief. The little white pigeon yelled, come on, let's play together and beat the hell out of everyone. I want to kill everyone. So Jiang Muye and his roommates started playing together. He felt lucky and won several games in a row. He was also the MVP. While Jiang Muye and his roommates stayed up late playing games, Xie Shiran tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. Her mind was filled with images of Jiang Muye and Leng Ruoli together today. Jiang Muye was really angry with her and ignored her? No, it's not possible. This wasn't the first time he was rejected by himself. No matter how far I run, he will always stand there waiting for me. Only when Xie Shiran thought of this did she calm down. Just wait until tomorrow. As soon as Jiang Muye comes, I will agree to his proposal and there will be no more complications. The next day, at 7:58 p.m., in the classroom, several boys from the design department sat together. Come on, let's make a bet on whether this boy's 100th proposal today will be successful. The minimum deposit is 100 yuan. The man with a crew cut excitedly suggested. Okay, I bet 300 that Jiang Muye can't do it. I bet 500, Jiang Muye and Xie Shiran have no chance. I'm 800. I'll give you 1,000. The crew-haired man thought for a moment and said, I'll bet 100, just in case Xie Shiran really agrees. After all, the two of them are engaged. The result was ridicule. That child marriage was just a joke between the two parents, but Jiang Muye took it seriously. That's right. Even if Jiang Muye proposed to me 1,000 times, 10,000 times, there would be no chance for either of us. While they were talking loudly, there was a slap on the table suddenly. A stack of bright red $100 bills was immediately placed on the table. I bet he won't go at all. Now the boys' eyes were fixed on her. So many banknotes. In the end, they bet that Jiang Muye wouldn't go. Are you kidding? Jiang Muye likes school beauty Xia so much. Brother, it looks like you're going to lose money this time. I advise you to change your mind quickly. When they were pretending to be kind and persuading people to change their tickets, they were stunned when they saw the person coming. The boy in front of him had a sharp light in his eyes, and said calmly, "No need, I'm sure to win." Everyone gasped. Who else could this boy be other than Jiang Muye? It was almost 8 o'clock, but Jiang Muye showed up in the classroom instead of confessing on the playground as usual. This goes against common sense. Jiang Muye, did you read the time wrong? It's only 1 minute to 8 o'clock, the man with a crew cut reminded. Jiang Muye said calmly, "Yes, I came here to study." He raised the book in his hand. Everyone's eyes widened. What's going on? Jiang Muye didn't go to propose marriage, but came here to read a book. Or did Jiang Muye simply not propose to her in order to make up for the bet? This was unlikely. Jiang Muye looked up at the clock on the wall in front of him and said, "It's 8 o'clock, so I win." Jiang Muye immediately began to take all the money on the table under everyone's astonished gazes. It's really a huge profit. Jiang Muye originally came to the study room to prepare for the English Level 4 exam, but he didn't expect to encounter a good opportunity to make money. Jiang Muye found a quiet seat and sat down. System prompt: congratulations to their host for signing into the self-study classroom successfully and obtaining 1 million RMB. Now I will give their host 20 points of luck. Jiang Muye opened the book and began to read. His grades have always been good, but he has a serious imbalance in his performance. English is his Achilles heel. He also doesn't know why Chinese people have to learn English. Wouldn't it be better to promote Chinese? The most annoying thing is that you need to pass the CET4 certificate before you can graduate from university. Last year, Jiang Muye clearly remembered his English teacher's mnemonics while doing the exercises. Choose the shortest of 3 long and 1 short, choose the longest of 3 short and 1 long, choose B of 2 long and 2 short, choose A of the same length. Choose D of different lengths, and C of uneven lengths. Copying is the main method, and ignorance is the auxiliary method. If you combine copying and auxiliary methods, you will definitely pass the test. However, I only scored 30 points. This year, he must make up for his previous shame and pass the CET4 certificate. The boy next to him was shocked when he saw Jiang Muye's actions. When did Jiang Muye become so studious? Did he forget about the school beauty share by Daming Lake? The most important thing is that all the money is invested. Jiang Muye cheated me out of everything. The longest road is Jiang Muye's routine. A waning moon hung in the shattered clouds. It was early autumn, a cold wind was blowing, and the temperature was much lower than usual. Xia Shiran arrived at the playground early accompanied by her 3 best friends. In addition to them, there were quite a few onlookers. It was obvious that these people came to see Jiang Muye propose for the 100th time. Some people even picked up the live broadcast and said, "There is a love saint in our school who proposed to the school beauty 99 times and was rejected." Yes, you read it right. It's not a confession, it's a proposal. I have to say he's very brave. Look, today he proposed to me for the 100th time. My friends, double-click 666, don't let the popularity of the live broadcast room drop. He will definitely be here soon. However, the popularity of the live broadcast room began to rise rapidly, but the protagonist did not appear. Not to mention the onlookers were anxious, even Xia Shiran was very anxious. She kept looking around, hoping to see the familiar tall figure she usually saw. Why hasn't Jiang Muye come yet? Isn't he always on time? Yuan saw that Xia Shiran was very anxious, so she began to comfort Xia Shiran and said, "Wait a little longer, maybe he will encounter something." The girl with glasses nodded. "Yeah, maybe he accidentally fell asleep. Or he misread the time, so he must be rushing here. He proposed to me 99 times, how could he miss this one?" Now Xia Shiran felt a little calmer. Yes, there is no way Jiang Muye wouldn't come. I should be more patient. After tonight, she and Jiang Muye will be a real couple. Chapter 6. You don't have to take the initiative, but when I take the initiative, don't stand still. Xia Shiran's face turned red with embarrassment when she thought about walking into the wedding hall hand in hand with Jiang Muye in the near future. But as time went by, the weather became colder and colder, and the onlookers could no longer bear it. When they saw that Jiang Muye had not appeared on stage, they were extremely disappointed. "Let's go, Jiang Muye isn't coming, there's no fun to watch. Go back to bed. I'm freezing to death. He didn't come and didn't tell me in advance. Did Jiang Muye really give up or confess his feelings later? He didn't even inform us in advance, leaving us waiting in vain. The students who had been huddled together now dispersed and went back to their homes. Xia Shiran and others were the only ones left on the playground. The cold wind was blowing. Xia Shiran's pretty little face had been blown red by the strong wind, her nose was flushed, and her body was shrunken from the cold. Did Jiang Muye really give up or confess his love later? He didn't even inform us in advance, leaving us waiting in vain. The students who had been huddled together now dispersed and went back to their homes. Xia Shiran and others were the only ones left on the playground. The cold wind was blowing. Xia Shiran's pretty little face had been blown red by the strong wind, her nose was flushed, and her body was shrunken from the cold. Yuan was already shivering from the cold, and she subconsciously said to Xia Ziran, let's go back to the dormitory. It's so cold. Xia Shiran's eyes suddenly became teary-eyed. Is he unable to come because of something, or does he no longer like me? Seeing Xia Shiran's lost and upset look, several people also felt bad. Ziran, don't be sad, let's go and ask, maybe there is some hidden secret, said the round-faced girl. Only then did Xia Shiran feel a glimmer of hope. Yuan asked on her phone and soon found out Jiang Muye's whereabouts. She said to Xia Shiran, he is in the study room on the 3rd floor. Let's go over and ask about his situation. Okay. Xia Shiran quickened his pace. She couldn't wait to meet Jiang Muye. Soon, Xia Shiran and others arrived at the door of the study room. She immediately saw the slender figure sitting with his back to her. Xia Shiran's heart was pounding. But she was a little shy and didn't dare to move forward. After all, she rejected him like that yesterday, what would he think? Are you really angry? Go quickly, come on. Yuan encouraged Xia Shiran. The girl with glasses said, he must have delayed proposing to you because of studying. If you go over now, he will definitely try to coax you and maybe even apologize to you. Only then did Xia Shiran feel more confident. Her eyes were full of light, and she said shyly, I don't want him to apologize, as long as he is willing to be with me. Xia Shiran's gaze fell on Jiang Muye. She took a deep breath, mustered up her courage and headed in the direction where Jiang Muye was. When Jiang Muye was having an intense discussion with Yingwen, he suddenly felt that the light in front of him was blocked and the book was in shadow. When Jiang Muye was wondering who had come, he heard a familiar voice. Why didn't you come to the playground today? Jiang Muye quickly raised his head and saw Xia Shiran's beautiful face. She was obviously anxious and began to grab her skirt in a panic. I want to say that the throbbing feeling is fake, after all, this is the person I like. But Jiang Muye now understands that if you like someone, you must know how to restrain yourself. Especially if you like someone who will never have any result. Jiang Muye loved her passionately and crazily, and he would never forget even though his dream was shattered. I have felt heart-wrenching pain time and time again, and I have licked myself time and time again to dissipate the pain. Jiang Muye will not make the same mistake again. I don't want to go. Jiang Muye's voice sank, and he pretended to be calm, and continued to read the book. Xia Shiran's lips trembled. She thought Jiang Muye would be overjoyed when he saw her coming to see him. However, he was very calm and did not react at all. Just like the self who ignored him in the past. Xia Shiran panicked. After she realized Jiang Muye's attitude had changed, she became very nervous. She tried hard to smile and asked, where's your DR diamond ring? What? Take it out. Today is the day you have to propose to me for the 100th time. Xia Shiran forced a smile, but now she was so anxious that her eyes were filled with tears. As long as you propose to me, I will consider agreeing to you. Jiang Muye's heart sank. Consider? Instead of just agreeing. So that means that even if he proposes to her for the 100th time, he may still face rejection. Jiang Muye felt that he was extremely ridiculous. He took out the DR diamond ring from his pocket. Xia Shiran's eyes became clear. Finally got it out. She was eager to put on the ring. And her close friends in the back row also became happy. Jiang Muye listened to Xia Shiran so much, how could he not continue to like Xia Shiran? Even if the world were to be destroyed, Jiang Muye's love for Xia Shiran would never be destroyed. I worked part-time for a whole month and saved every penny I could to buy this ring. Even though it was very tiring and hard, I think it was worth it when I think of you wearing the ring. I wear this ring all the time just in case you suddenly change your mind. What if you suddenly want to agree? In the end, I still haven't waited. Jiang Muye's eyes fell on the ring. You don't have to take the initiative, but don't stay still when I take the initiative. At the moment when Xia Shiran felt that the ring was within her grasp, Jiang Muye turned around, grabbed the ring and threw it out of the window. The ring was thrown out in a parabola and slowly disappeared from Xia Shiran's sight. This shocked everyone. Shouldn't this be a proposal? Why did Jiang Muye throw away the ring? Xia Shiran ran to the windowsill in horror. But I didn't see the DR ring. She turned around in surprise and looked at the figure standing there proudly. His perfect jaw angle reflected a cold arc, and his thin lips were pursed very tightly. Xia Shiran's face turned pale. She felt distressed and began to question Jiang Muye. Why did you throw away the ring? Isn't it mine? Have you put it on? Jiang Muye asked back, instantly confusing Xia Shiran. Yeah, she didn't wear a ring. This ring does not truly belong to her. Even if she had been sure from the beginning that the ring was hers, it would not count. Jiang Muye suppressed his reluctance and said, not everyone can lose their temper with me. First, clarify the relationship between you and me. Who are you to me? I am ready to spend my whole life with you, but you are ready to leave at any time, so I can only say goodbye to you. Under everyone's surprised gaze, Jiang Muye announced domineeringly, Xia Shiran, today I officially cancel my engagement with you. Xia Shiran felt her body numb and her vision blurred. What did he say? Do you want to break up the engagement with her? Jiang Muye picked up the book on the table and walked out with firm steps. The girl with glasses grabbed Jiang Muye's wrist and asked angrily, Jiang Muye, are you kidding me? Xiran finally put down her pride and came to you, but you are so cruel. She is the cruel one. I am putting down my pride and coming to her. Jiang Muye shook off the bespectacled girl's hand. Xia Shiran is a person, so is he not a human being? He will feel heartbroken and cry. He had been stupid before, but now he wants to be a decent person. Jiang Muye left after he finished speaking. Xia Shiran felt a painful shudder throughout his body and he covered his chest weakly. My heart aches. Several girlfriends quickly ran up to comfort Xia Shiran and said, Shiran, are you okay? He was just talking in anger, don't take it seriously. He's just pretending, how could he not like you? Xia Shiran burst into tears. She shook her head and sobbed, I really like him so much. I know. Yuan nodded. He just rejected me once, and I'm so miserable. But I rejected him 99 times. Xia Shiran clutched her chest, her heart almost torn apart. How painful it must be for him. Chapter 7 Since you like him, get him back. Xia Shiran cried with tears in her eyes. When she was heartbroken, she realized what she had lost. I really regret it. It would have been great if I had accepted it earlier. Xia Shiran bit her cherry lips, feeling very regretful. But there's no way to regret it now. Let's think about how to make up for it. Yuan reminded Xia Shiran. Xia Shiran's eyes were filled with tears, and she was stunned for a while. Make up for it. Yes, since you like him, just get him back. Yuan said seriously. Yes, I want to get him back. A little flame burned in Xia Shiran's eyes. But the girl with glasses said disdainfully, why should she run chase Jiang Muye? Boys don't like girls who take the initiative like this at all, and they won't cherish them. They are just playing with your mind. Do you want to see Shiran get abandoned? Yuan was immediately in a dilemma. What should I do? Can I watch the cold school beauty chase Jiang Muye? These words suddenly made Xia Shiran shudder. She almost forgot that Ling Ruoli was there. Could it be that the school beauty Ling said something to Jiang Muye, so Jiang Muye didn't come to propose this time? Otherwise, Jiang Muye would propose to me every day without fail. Xia Shiran bit her lip. She hesitated for a long time and made a difficult decision. I want to talk to her. The person who tied the bell must be the one to untie it. She wanted to find out what Ling Ruoli said to Jiang Muye that day that changed Jiang Muye's thoughts and decision. 8:45 p.m. Xia Shiran knocked on the door of dormitory 502 where Ling Ruoli was. After waiting for a while, the door opened. Xia Shiran saw that incredibly beautiful face. The other person's azure eyes looked at her coldly and asked, what's the matter? Xia Shiran was completely shocked by the other party's cold aura. Ling Ruoli is wearing no makeup, but she is still as beautiful and delicate as a doll. She thought she was pretty enough, but when she stood in front of Leng Ruoli, she immediately looked inferior. As girls, we all like this face very much. Not to mention boys. Thinking of this, Xia Shiran's eyes were filled with loss. She never took the initiative to flirt with a stranger, especially someone who might be her love rival. This made Xia Shiran's face turn slightly red, and she hesitantly said, "Hello, is it convenient for me to come in and talk to you alone?" Leng Ruoli said, indifferently. Xia Shiran walked in. Leng Ruoli lived in the most luxurious double room, which was much larger than other dormitories, not to mention the decoration inside. It feels like this is not a dormitory but a hotel room. The princess bed looks particularly comfortable. Tell me what's the matter. Leng Ruoli picked up her coffee cup and took a sip. Her skin, as delicate as fine porcelain, exuded a chilling coldness. She is indeed the most beautiful girl in boys' hearts and the iceberg beauty in school. Xia Shiran pondered for a long time and said, "There are rumors about you in school recently. Do you want to come forward to clarify it?" Xia Shiran blushed. "There are rumors that you like Jiang Muye." "Oh." Leng Ruoli responded softly, and then replied in a very calm tone, "It needs to be clarified." Xia Shiran's eyes suddenly became bright. Leng Ruoli wants to clarify. Doesn't that mean Leng Ruoli doesn't like Jiang Muye? Fortunately, Leng Ruoli is not her love rival. Otherwise, the chances of reconciling with Jiang Muye would become slim. While Xia Shiran was secretly delighted, Leng Ruoli said calmly, "I want to clarify that it's not a rumor that I like Jiang Muye." The smile on Xia Shiran's face suddenly became stiff. She wondered if she had heard it wrong. "You like Jiang Muye? Are you sure?" Leng Ruoli said firmly, "Yes, I am sure and certain. I thought you would make him happy, so I suppressed my love for him, but now I realize that you are not worthy of his love at all." Leng Ruoli could no longer keep his mind. Her eyes were already filled with tears. Thinking of what had happened before, she cried out her empathy. "He loved you so much. When you had gastroenteritis and couldn't eat the food in the cafeteria, he ran around to the small shops outside the school to borrow kitchens and learned how to make porridge for you. But you didn't even eat a single bite. When you failed the exam, he sat on the basketball court with you while you cried, and yet you still blamed him for meddling in your affairs. You had a fever, and no one dared to send you to the fever clinic, but he took the risk of being quarantined and took you to the hospital for treatment and infusion. Why can't you cherish this boy who is so kind to you?" Leng Ruoli's eyes were swollen from crying. Every time she saw Jiang Muye giving to Xia Shiran selflessly, her heart ached. Xia Shiran's heart trembled. There were details that she hadn't noticed before, but after Leng Ruoli said this, all of them came to her mind. It turns out that she was so cruel to Jiang Muye. But Jiang Muye never left her side again and again. Xia Shiran had always enjoyed his kindness and thought it was natural for Jiang Muye to be nice to her. After all, he wanted to pursue her. People who don't care about themselves are treasures in the eyes of others. Xia Shiran looked at Leng Ruoli, who was crying in front of her, with complicated eyes. Leng Ruoli's eyes were as red as rabbits. She bit her lower lip and said stubbornly, "I want to pursue him. I want to return all the happiness you owe him. No, I want to give him double, many times more." Xia Shiran's face turned pale in an instant. She was very flustered. The most feared thing still happened. It's cheap for a girl to chase after him. If you chase him, he will definitely. Xia Shiran's words were immediately interrupted by Leng Ruoli, who replied stubbornly, "There is no such thing as cheap words in love, unless you don't like it enough." Leng Ruoli's red lips parted slightly. "I wasn't brave enough before, but now I want to be brave for my love once. What's shameful about a girl chasing a boy?" She hesitated simply because by the time she showed up, Jiang Muye was already deeply in love with Xia Shiran. But now Leng Ruoli realized that Xia Shiran would only hurt Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye proposed to Xia Shiran 99 times, but she didn't dare to watch even once. But that day was a coincidence, and she witnessed Xia Shiran's ruthlessness and indifference with her own eyes. I also saw Jiang Muye's sad look on the rainy day. Then she didn't want her beloved boy to be hurt by Xia Shiran again and again. Xia Shiran felt a severe blow to his heart. There is no cheap talk in love, unless you don't like it enough. No, she liked Jiang Muye. Then why couldn't she pursue Jiang Muye? Is it that she can't let go of her pride or her face? Jiang Muye pursued her 99 times. He put aside his pride time and time again and pursued her very bravely. Why wouldn't she do it even once? Xia Shiran looked at the determined Lin Ruoli in front of her and suddenly felt a deep sense of crisis. God, how many ridiculous and wrong things had she done? Jiang Muye loved her so much, how could she hurt him so cruelly? Xia Shiran's breathing became rapid. The angina is severe. She realized something and slammed the door and left in panic. She has important work to do. Chapter 8: Xia Shiran's first confession. After Jiang Muye returned to the dormitory from the study room, he found that his 3 roommates were either chatting on the phone with their girlfriends or playing games. After seeing Jiang Muye coming back, some of them hung up the phone, some hung up the phone, and all of them came to Jiang Muye. Little White Pigeon said anxiously, "Jiang Muye, where have you been? The campus network exploded, saying that you didn't propose." Kaizi nodded, "Yes, I heard that the school beauty Xia is waiting for you in the playground early today. Isn't it a surprise? You have hope." "Lao," he said, "why don't you go find the school beauty Xia? Maybe your proposal will be successful." Jiang Muye said with little interest, "No, I won't propose to her again," and I threw the ring away. These words shocked everyone. Little White Dove placed her hand on Jiang Muye's forehead and said, "You don't have a fever, do you? Go away, I'm fine." "Then why don't you propose? Don't you like campus beauty Xia? And you spent a lot of time working to buy the ring, why did you throw it away?" "Throwing away the ring is me saying goodbye to my foolish past self. I won't like her anymore." Jiang Muye said calmly, "She and I will say goodbye from now on and we will never have any contact again." The 3 of them were so frightened that they could fit an egg in their mouths. Little White Dove was very stunned. "Is this true? If she came after you, you wouldn't like her?" As a result, Lao he rolled his eyes and said, "You're overthinking it. Xia Shiran is very proud and is also a famous literary beauty in the school. She will definitely not pursue Muzi." Kaizi sighed deeply, "Have you thought it through?" But Jiang Muye said firmly, "Yes, even if she comes to pursue me, I will not easily accept her." As soon as he finished speaking, Kaizi's phone rang. Kaizi picked up the phone and found that it was Yuan, the head of the student union, calling. He asked curiously, "Hello, what's going on?" Yuan's anxious voice sounded, "Is Jiang Muye with you?" "Yes." Kaizi felt very strange. "I don't know his phone number, just give him your phone," Yuan urged. Kaizi handed the phone to Jiang Muye and said, Yuan, our team leader is also the school beauty Xia's best friend. I wonder what he wants to talk to you about." Jiang Muye also felt strange. "Is there something she contacted me about?" He took the phone and heard Yuan's anxious voice. "Hey, Jiang Muye, come to the teaching building quickly, something happened." Jiang Muye was startled, and his dark eyes instantly became deep. It was pitch dark downstairs of the teaching building, but there were a few rays of flashlight shining on the grass. Xia Shiran was seen crouching, with one hand lifting the long hair scattered on her cheeks to her ears, and with the other hand shining a flashlight into every corner of the grass. It has started to drizzle, and the rain is expected to get heavier and soon people will be soaked like drowned rats. But Xia Shiran had no intention of leaving and was still looking for something. However, the 3 girls around her were extremely anxious. "Xiran, stop looking. It's too late now, and it's raining. What if you catch a cold?" "That's right. The ring is so small and the area is so large. How can you find it? It's so dark around here and it's raining now. Can you please stop making trouble?" But Xia Shiran refused to listen. She said anxiously, "No, if I don't look for it now, it will be even harder to find it tomorrow. I have to find the ring no matter what. This DR ring is Jiang Muye's hard work. It is also equivalent to her happiness. Since she was the one who lost her happiness, she must get it back. Even if it means going through fire and water, I will do it." Xia Shiran's fair and beautiful face was full of determination. Even though her eyes were dazzled and she couldn't find the ring, or the weather was too dark and she missed several steps, she still persevered in looking for the ring. Her best friends were particularly distressed and some held umbrellas for her, fearing that Ling Ruoli would catch a cold. When Jiang Muye and his roommates ran over, they saw Xia Shiran, who was already soaking wet. She seemed to be looking for something, biting her stubborn cherry lips, squatting on the ground and searching persistently. Jiang Muye strode forward and said hurriedly, Xia Shiran, it's raining, go back quickly. Xia Shiran was looking for something, but when she saw the heroic Jiang Muye, her face was filled with joy. Jiang Muye, I'm looking for a ring. Wait a minute, I'll find it soon. She lowered her head and continued to grope in the grass. Jiang Muye had already seen her fair and tender wrists, which were cut by branches and leaves, and blood was flowing continuously. There were many puncture marks on her fingers. But she seemed not to feel any pain and was still looking for the ring without hesitation. This was the first time Jiang Muye saw Xia Shiran so persistent. Or because I'm so persistent about him. Jiang Muye's 3 roommates were completely dumbfounded. In the past, Xia Shiran always ignored Jiang Muye. No matter what Jiang Muye did, it seemed that he couldn't get interested in him. Even when Jiang Muye took out the ring to propose, she didn't even look at it. Now that Jiang Muye had lost a ring, she was extremely distraught and seemed determined to find it at all costs. It's late, let's go back. Jiang Muye grabbed Xia Shiran's wrist very seriously and asked Xia Shiran to stand up. Xia Shiran was relentless, no. I'm going to find it tonight. Her tearful eyes make people feel pity. Even the voice was trembling and choked. As long as I find the ring, you will be with me again, right? Xia Shiran's eyes were filled with hope. Jiang Muye felt mixed emotions. If he had heard these words in the past, he would have been so happy that he almost died. But now Jiang Muye has learned to let go of his feelings for Xia Shiran, and she has begun to win him back without hesitation. Xiao Beige and others looked at the lovable Xia Shiran and felt heartbroken. It seems that school beauty Xia is really moved. They were all happy for their brother. Kaizi gently poked Jiang Muye's hand and reminded him, Muzi, hurry up and say it right. Little White Pigeon wanted to agree on Jiang Muye's behalf and urged Jiang Muye, don't just stand there. Answer quickly. Old he was very envious. Before, he thought Jiang Muye's blind devotion was foolish, but now he thinks Jiang Muye's infatuation is correct. Look, the iron tree has blossomed. When everyone was expecting Jiang Muye's answer, Jiang Muye said in a cold voice, no, even if you find the ring, we can't go back. Little White Pigeon couldn't believe it. Jiang Muye, what are you talking about? Xia Shiran is the goddess of my dreams. Kaizi also found it difficult to understand. Jiang Muye had a crush on Xia Shiran but failed. Now that Xia Shiran has come back to him, he actually refuses to accept her? Chapter 9 I proposed to you 99 times, and I have a clear conscience about my love for you. Jiang Muye took a deep breath and said, I've thought it through clearly, Xia Shiran. We missed each other. If you want to leave, you can do so anytime. If you want to come back, I'm sorry, that's not possible. Xia Shiran's heart was broken, tears welled up in her eyes, and she choked up, I like you, Jiang Muye, why can you propose to me 99 times but not give me one chance? Jiang Muye lowered his eyelids and said resolutely, I proposed to you 99 times because I wanted to have a clear conscience about my love. Now I reject you because I want to be sincere about my dignity. Life cannot be rewound, just like my feelings cannot be turned back. Missed is missed, I will not regret it. Xia Shiran's girlfriends were shocked when they saw Jiang Muye's heartless look. It's not like they haven't seen Jiang Muye pursuing Xia Shiran before. A boy who likes Xia Shiran so much, resolutely says no to Xia Shiran's confession. This was the first time Xia Shiran expressed her true feelings, and the pain was unforgettable. Look, Xia Shiran is crying so sadly. Eyeballs fell one by one like pearls. Her face was full of regret, but it was too late. Jiang Muye deliberately ignored Xia Shiran's crying appearance. He pretended to be indifferent and walked towards the men's dormitory. As a result, I heard Xia Shiran's loud confession from behind. Jiang Muye, I like you. I want to pursue you. I have hurt you 99 times in the past, this time I will pursue you 100 times, one more time, and I will not regret my love. Jiang Muye's back trembled slightly. He turned around and looked at Xia Shiran. Her eyes were glowing and for the first time, they were filled with him. Just like a dream, all the imagined scenes in the past are now appearing. But this time Jiang Muye had already woken up from his dream. Jiang Muye pursed his lips and walked towards the dormitory quickly with a cold look on his face. Everyone had already been deeply immersed in Xia Shiran's confession. Xia Shiran, who has always been calm and artistic, now frantically expresses that she wants to pursue Jiang Muye 100 times. You must be kidding. If I tell them, who would believe it? But it happened. Xia Shiran was born into a scholarly family. Both her parents are university professors. She is beautiful, intellectual, literary and wise, and there is a long line of people pursuing her. I've never seen her be so shameless to anyone. It can be seen how much Xia Shiran likes Jiang Muye. Xiao Beige and the others shook their heads. They had never expected this. They had thought Jiang Muye was a romantic, but they hadn't expected Xia Shiran to be such a lovesick woman. Did Jiang Muye win the lottery? As Xia Shiran watched Jiang Muye leave reluctantly, her friends were a little surprised. Are you really going to pursue Jiang Muye? Yes, he can propose to me 99 times, so what's the problem with me pursuing him 100 times? If he can do it, I can definitely do it too. Xia Shiran was very confident. He liked me so much before, and he will like me even more in the future. Xia Shiran couldn't believe that he would give up on her so easily without any feelings left. Since Ling Ruoli can bravely pursue love, why should she hesitate? After Jiang Muye returned to the dormitory, the system began to send reminders. Congratulations to their host for rejecting the courtship of school beauty Xia and obtaining a duplex sea view villa in Jiangling Garden. This comforted Jiang Muye's wounded heart. Jiangling Yuan? Isn't that the most luxurious area in the city center? The houses there are all priced sky high. As a result, you get a duplex villa with sea view. This was completely beyond Jiang Muye's expectations. At this time, the three roommates had also returned. After seeing Jiang Muye lying on the bed, they shook their heads. Muzi, that's the goddess Xia you've always dreamed of. Now she's chasing you. Do you really not like her or are you just angry? Asked the little white pigeon. Jiang Muye's eyes were complicated. Some wounds, no matter how long it has been, still hurt when touched. Some people, no matter how long it has been, still hurt when you think of them. Some people don't stop loving, it's just that it hurts when they love. Jiang Muye's heart was already broken. He wants love. But I no longer have the courage to love. Some people are not suitable to fall in love at the wrong time, just like me and her. Jiang Muye's passion for loving her had faded, and when he was about to start a new life, she came back to him. Who is he? Is it a toy that she can summon and dismiss at will? What if she no longer loves him? Will she abandon him again? Jiang Muye closed his eyes tightly and said nothing. The roommates also noticed that Jiang Muye's mood had become much more depressed, so they stopped asking about this issue. Actually, school beauty Xia isn't that good. Muzi has no shortage of girls around him, right? Kaizi said. Before Muzi had a stomachache, someone put stomach medicine in the drawer. He got burned while cooking for school beauty Xia, and someone ordered burn medicine for him. When he was late, someone secretly signed in for him. Kaizi's words immediately perked up the little white pigeon. Oh, right. I had forgotten about this. Jiang Muye, do you know who that girl is? She has always been paying attention to you and asking about your well-being. She must be a good girl. Jiang Muye shook his head and said, I don't know. Most of the girls who pursue him are passionate and bold. No matter how shy you are, you will give him a love letter. But there has never been anyone who has paid attention to him anonymously, preparing things he needs from time to time, and not leaving his name. Jiang Muye once thought, if the other party wanted to be with him, why didn't he show up? He once staked out the place with a few roommates, but found nothing. The other party's identity was not discovered, and there was no information at all. In addition, Jiang Muye's heart and soul were completely focused on Xia Shiran at the time, so the matter was left unresolved. The three roommates were very regretful. Oh, you missed the opportunity to be single. I don't want to fall in love right now. Actually, there's nothing wrong with being single. Jiang Muye said, I'd rather be single than be with someone I don't like. I won't settle for anything less than what I want. I'll just wait for the right person. Jiang Muye's attitude made several roommates shake their heads. In their opinion, Jiang Muye would definitely not forget the school beauty Xia. Belle Xia is so beautiful and talented. How could you easily like someone else if you have liked her? But they were also thankful that Jiang Muye at least didn't hang himself on a tree, which was also a kind of progress. The next day, the sky cleared up after the rain. Jiang Muye was awakened by hunger. I looked at the time on my phone and it was already 8 o'clock in the morning. He heard Kaizi from next door calling his girlfriend Xiaoye in bed. Baby, I missed you too. Are you hungry? Don't worry, I'll buy you breakfast and send you downstairs to your dormitory. The morning is full of dog food. Jiang Muye was exhausted. Jiang Muye had just gotten down from the upper bunk when the little white dove on the lower bunk said sleepily, "Muzi, wake up. Bring me some breakfast, white porridge, fried dough sticks, and 2 meat buns." Oldie also poked his head out from under the quilt and shouted sleepily, "I want one too. Bring me a rice bowl with grilled sausage in it, and ask Auntie to add some pickled mustard and fried dough sticks." Kaisi said even more shyly, "You just happen to be going to the canteen, why don't you bring me some? My baby is hungry and wants to eat tofu pudding and steamed buns. Can you buy me 5 meat buns and soy milk? The quilt is too warm, I can't get up, can I take a nap for a while?" Jiang Muye looked at this group of shameless guys and said angrily, "Okay, why don't I just bring it to you?" It just so happened that the system released the cafeteria sign in task. Jiang Muye thought that he could fill his stomach and make some money at the same time. The 3 roommates waved their hands and urged, "Har har har, go quickly and come back soon. Waiting for you? Thanks, bro. Then I'll continue talking to my baby on the phone tilder." Jiang Muye laughed and scolded, "I brought you food and you're still asking for the order." He took his meal card, put on a black cotton coat and walked out. The temperature has dropped significantly recently. I could still wear short sleeves before, but now the cold air is coming and it's so cold that I'm shivering. Jiang Muye walked into the campus, and there were few people upstairs. But when Jiang Muye arrived at the cafeteria, he felt a warm feeling coming over him. The heating is really comfortable. There are not many people in the cafeteria. After all, many people don't have classes in the morning, so who would get up? At this time, the system panel received a message. Chapter 10: The School Beauty has a crush on me. System, congratulations on signing in successfully at the cafeteria and receiving 500,000 renminbi. Jiang Muye followed his brother's instructions and went to the window to buy breakfast, but the corner of his clothes was gently pulled. He felt a tingling sensation like an electric current. Jiang Muye quickly lowered his head and looked over. He found the beautiful Leng Ruoli standing in front of him. She was wearing a light blue long-sleeved dress today with a white fluffy coat on the outside, but it couldn't hide her curvy figure. She was wearing black stockings, which was a rare sight, which showed off her great figure, slim and sexy figure, and beautiful cartoon legs. The overall outfit is more girlish, which makes her look more approachable and not too cold or difficult to approach. At this moment, her feather-like eyelashes were slightly blinking, her cheeks were warm, and her pupils looked at Jiang Muye tentatively, and asked cautiously, "Can you lend me your meal card?" This. Jiang Muye was surprised to meet the school beauty Leng again today, while handing the card to Leng Ruoli. "Yeah." Leng Ruoli tilted her pretty face up and smiled at Jiang Muye, "I was in a hurry to go downstairs, luckily I met you. I'll give you the money after I swipe my card." Jiang Muye was very surprised. The usually icy beauty actually smiled. People always say that she is cold and nobody has ever seen her smile. But now Jiang Muye saw it. She looks really pretty when she smiles. Her eyelashes were curved, and the overall outline was clear and refreshing. A smile was lingering at the corners of her bright red lips, which gave her a bit of the elegance and charm of an iris. Jiang Muye is not a stingy person. The girl is in trouble now, so help her if you can. Leng Ruoli was obviously very happy, her bright eyes slightly raised. After glancing at the window, she finally decided on a bacon and vegetable pie and a glass of freshly squeezed soy milk. In total. After swiping Jiang Muye's card, she returned the card to Jiang Muye and said with a smile, "Thank you." "You're welcome." Leng Ruoli stood in front of Jiang Muye, raised her phone, and asked, "Can I add WeChat?" Jiang Muye was very surprised. It's not like girls Haven T asked him for his WeChat before. But the person in front of him is Leng Ruoli, the leader of the For School Beauties. How many boys pursue her? She was unmoved. So she came to me today to ask for my WeChat. Generally, when a girl asks a boy for his WeChat ID, it's mostly because she is interested in him. So, Leng Ruoli is really interested in him? While Jiang Muye was thinking, Leng Ruoli blushed and said, "I have to pay you back. I have money on WeChat." "Oh, this is my treat, you don't have to pay." Jiang Muye realized that he was overthinking and didn't plan to ask for money. After all, he doesn't lack this little money. But Leng Ruoli insisted, how can this be possible? Seeing Jiang Muye's puzzled look, Leng Ruoli blushed and said, 5 yuan is also money. I'll transfer it to you. Making money is an excuse. The real reason is that he wants to add Jiang Muye's WeChat. Leng Ruoli really wanted to see what Jiang Muye's WeChat circle was like. I want to know what his life is like and what his hobbies are. Because she liked him, she wanted to know more about him. Okay then, scan my WeChat code. Jiang Muye opened WeChat and asked Leng Ruoli to scan it. Leng Ruoli held the phone, her fingers trembling. So happy. She had always wanted to join Jiang Muye. But there was never an opportunity. Now I finally have the chance. I added you. Leng Ruoli's eyes were bright. Seeing Jiang Muye lowering his head to operate his mobile phone, her face was burning with excitement and she couldn't suppress her excitement at all. Okay. Jiang Muye informed. To Jiang Muye, this still felt a bit like a dream. He actually added Leng the school beauty's WeChat. If he tells others about this, his 3 beastly roommates will definitely not believe it. After confirming that she had added a friend, Leng Ruoli contentedly noted the name, 1%. Why is it called 1%? Because he is her 1 in a million, and the one she wants to chat with even when her battery is at the last 1%. Leng Ruoli quickly transferred the money and Jiang Muye received it. Classmate, your breakfast has been packed. The cafeteria aunt informed Jiang Muye. Okay. Jiang Muye responded. Leng Ruoli saw Jiang Muye carrying large and small bags of breakfast and was surprised. Do you eat so much in the morning? Jiang Muye smiled and said, I brought this for my roommates. They all eat more than the other. It makes me feel like I'm a professional pig feeder. It's very heavy, let me help you. Leng Ruoli subconsciously began to help Jiang Muye carry some bags. Jiang Muye was flattered. No, I can do it myself. Leng Ruoli said seriously, no, you just helped me, so I have to help you in return. She blinked again and said, or do you think I'm clumsy and don't want me to help you? Jiang Muye's face turned red and he quickly shook his head, of course not. But he has never asked a girl to get something for him. The main thing is that he is a boy, how can he let girls do these jobs? Besides, Leng Ruoli's fingers are very delicate and white. I heard that her family is rich. Even if she is a rich girl who has never done any womanizing, she should have never done such a thing. Leng Ruoli's eyes curved, and she said with a smile, that's good, let's go. She was already walking forward with her things. Jiang Muye had no chance to take it back, so he could only catch up and walk beside Leng Ruoli. Jiang Muye looked at Leng Ruoli properly for the first time. She is beautiful and has a good figure, and is absolutely the white moonlight in the eyes of boys. He should be about 1.65 meters tall, but standing next to Jiang Muye, who is over 1.80 meters tall, he looks a little small. She was just below his shoulder, looking very cute. Nothing was said between the two of them, but because they were so close, her arm swung to his side several times. Jiang Muye actually felt a little nervous when he touched the other person's soft and smooth skin. He didn't know what to do with his hands. Take a sneak peek at her. She lowered her beautiful oval face and bit her cherry lips. Her skin turned red, making her look even more charming and beautiful. Jiang Muye's heart was filled with excitement. There is indeed a reason why Leng Ruoli can become the top of the 4 school beauties, that is, she is a genuine white, rich and beautiful woman. Leng Ruoli felt being watched, looked over and smiled sweetly. His cheeks flushed with heat. Who said Leng Ruoli is very cold? She is obviously very soft. When Jiang Muye and Leng Ruoli walked side by side, they naturally received a lot of attention. It's really the center of attention. The students all suspected that they had seen it wrong. Leng Ruoli, who is known as the flower of Galing and the leader of the 4 school beauties, is now buying breakfast with a boy. The most important thing is that this boy is actually Jiang Muye, who proposed to school beauty Xia 99 times before. You should know that cold school beauties are more popular and harder to pursue than summer school beauties. I have never seen Ling Xiaohua walking with any boy. It can be said that Ling Xiaohua is not stingy with even a glance to other boys. But now, the school beauty Leng had red cheeks and walked with Jiang Muye with a shy girl's look. This is simply a miracle. Soon, some boys started to say with envy and jealousy, we all said Jiang Muye was a school belle she is liquor before, but who would have thought that things are different now, he actually managed to hook up with school Belle Lung. Who said it wasn't? No wonder he didn't propose for the 100th time. Who wouldn't be tempted by the cold school beauty? I think the cold school beauty seems to be attracted to him. Finally, Jiang Muye is not just wishful thinking. Jiang Muye has really made a fortune. I used to laugh at him for being a licker until he ended up with nothing. It turns out that Jiang Muye is the smart guy who has everything he wants. I am the real single dog. Chapter 11, Crush on Someone. At this moment, Jiang Muye was not affected by those gazes at all. He had developed a thick skin after proposing to Xia Shiran 99 times. From being socially phobic to being a social bully, what is there to be afraid of? Just walk your own path and let others talk. After Leng Ruoli sent Jiang Muye downstairs, Jiang Muye took the things and thanked him gratefully. Thank you for helping me. I'll go upstairs first. Bye. Okay, bye. Leng Ruoli said softly. Although she had said goodbye, she was reluctant to move away. She stared at Jiang Muye's slender back as he left. Soon, Leng Ruoli was extremely happy when she saw Jiang Muye's WeChat in her friend list. She was very timid before. She has never dared to approach the boy she likes. But now she bravely took the first step. Then taking the remaining 99 steps must be much easier. Leng Ruoli held the phone to her chest and smiled sweetly. Leng Ruoli carried her breakfast and happily ran to her dormitory. When Leng Ruoli returned to the dormitory, she happily placed breakfast on the table of her roommate Emilu, who was putting on makeup. Emilu, I brought you breakfast Tilder, Leng Ruoli said happily. Emilu is also one of the four campus beauties. Her family background is slightly inferior to Leng Ruoli's. She is the school's sexy goddess and a senior student, 2 years older than Leng Ruoli. He is also one of Leng Ruoli's rare friends. Now Emilu is a well-known model. She has a beautiful face and plump breasts. She is wearing a slim V-neck halter dress, and her legs are long and white. It can be said that she has an angelic face, a devilish talent, seductive and sexy. Many otakus in the school are drooling over her, and she is a real heartthrob. Emilu, who was sitting with her legs crossed and drawing her eyebrows, put down her eyebrow pencil and asked curiously, "What happened today? You suddenly brought me breakfast. You've changed your personality. Could it be that your boyfriend rejected your breakfast and gave it to me?" Leng Ruoli's face immediately turned red and she said, "How is that possible? It's for you anyway." She would never say that after breakfast, she saw Jiang Muye appear in the cafeteria, and then secretly bought an extra portion, using the name of borrowing the card to get closer to Jiang Muye. He, since you are so happy, I must have not rejected you. Tell me what happened between you two. Emilu became curious. She knew that Leng Ruoli had a crush on a man, but she didn't know who he was. Leng Ruoli transferred here because of the other party, but unfortunately the other party already had a special liking for another girl. Leng Ruoli can only have unrequited love and silently make sacrifices behind her back. Emilu really wanted to stand up for Leng Ruoli. If she were that boy, she would have fallen in love with Leng Ruoli long ago and would never like other girls. But who is that boy? How could such a beautiful and perfect Leng Ruoli never forget him? Leng Ruoli's face was extremely red, and she stammered, "I added him on WeChat." Speaking of this, Leng Ruoli's heart began to beat wildly again. Faced with Emilu's "wow," he immediately covered his face in embarrassment. Her pretty face was already red to the extreme. "Although I added WeChat, I don't know how to chat with him." That's easy. Just send some sexy photos and boy will be able to resist. Our Ruoli has such a great figure. Show her breasts and long legs and I guarantee you'll get her. Emilu teased with a smile. Facing Emilu's attack on her breasts, Leng Ruoli's face turned red. She immediately covered her chest with both hands and giggled, "Sister Emilu, please forgive me. I dare not say anything more. This will make him think I am too casual." Leng Ruoli was very shy. Emilu analyzed it and said, "Yes, girls should be more reserved at the beginning. It's better to let men do their lewd things." Leng Ruoli nodded shyly, "What do you think I should do? How about?" Emilu came closer and began to whisper something in Leng Ruoli's ear. Leng Ruoli blushed even more. "Is this okay? Just give it a try, maybe it will work." Emilu raised the corner of her mouth and said, "Showing off your feelings while still being shy is the highest level of teasing a man. When Jiang Muye brought breakfast into the dormitory, his three roommates all looked towards the door. Like a wolf and a tiger. There was a leisurely green light in his eyes. Jiang Muye was horrified by what he saw. Little White Dove even raised his phone towards Jiang Muye and smiled maliciously. "Oh, Muzi, you've become a bad guy. You've concealed it quite well." On the phone was a photo of Jiang Muye and Leng Ruoli walking on campus. Jiang Muye was very surprised. "I didn't expect the photo to be taken. Where did it come from?" Jiang Muye asked. Little White Pigeon said excitedly, "It was posted on the campus network. It has now been pushed to the top of the hot list. Are you really dating the cold school beauty?" He was very excited. "Muzi, you really have a bright future. She's a cold school beauty. Your family is super rich. If you become a live-in son-in-law, you will never have to worry about food and drink for the rest of your life. It's absolutely great." Kaizi sighed. You are so narrow-minded. Do you only want to be a gigolo? Isn't the school beauty Ling pretty and has a good figure? If it were me, I would want to stick with her every day. You all have girlfriends, okay? Stop thinking about those nonsense." Jiang Muye poured cold water on them. Little White Pigeon was not happy. "Everyone likes beauties. Having a girlfriend doesn't stop you from watching me watch movies." He then chuckled and said, "Well, you're starting to protect me. How far have you and the cold school beauty gone? Have you kissed?" Jiang Muye rolled his eyes and said, "Pour out all the dirty stuff in your head. I have no interest in her, and she and I are just classmates. Do you want to eat breakfast or not? If not, I'll feed you to the dogs." The little white pigeon was eager to protect his food, so he immediately got up from the bed, fearing that Jiang Muye would really pour out his breakfast. He said anxiously, "Muzi, no, brother Mu, I was wrong, isn't that okay?" Jiang Muye nodded with satisfaction. He sat down and started to eat breakfast. The three of them also got up and went to wash. He was brushing his teeth, with toothpaste foam still in his mouth, and asked, "I think the school beauty Ling is interested in you. I've never seen her get close to any boy." Little White Dove nodded, "I think so too. You have to consider how many people have confessed to her before and how many cried when she rejected them. I think you have to take the initiative to pursue her and take her down." Jiang Muye's brows furrowed. Leng Ruoli's actions and her blushing face were circling in his mind. When a girl learns to take the initiative, it most likely means she is interested in the boy. So Leng Ruoli should be interested in him. Jiang Muye lowered his eyelids and said calmly, "So what if I'm interested? I don't want to fall in love right now. Exam week is coming soon, so I'd better study hard and get a few more certificates. It will also help me find a job in the future." Jiang Muye is a person who takes relationships extremely seriously. It was difficult for him to end a relationship, and it was also difficult for him to enter into another relationship easily. He needs time to heal, calm down and think independently about the gains and losses of his previous relationship, and face the next relationship with a brand new self. But Campus Belle is so beautiful and rich. Little White Pigeon felt a little disappointed. "Eat more and talk less." Jiang Muye picked up Little White Pigeon's breakfast. "If you keep nagging me, I'll fall down." I'll eat it. The little white dove naturally had to protect his breakfast. He couldn't go hungry. Jiang Muye ate his breakfast in silence. Leng Ruoli is perfect, but liking someone is not because she is so good, but because you want to be good to her. Jiang Muye had no special feelings towards Leng Ruoli. In short, he was not attracted to her. In this case, other people's opinions had no way of influencing him. After Jiang Muye finished his breakfast, a reminder suddenly came through WeChat. Jiang Muye picked up the phone and looked at it, and was surprised for a moment. The person who sent the WeChat message was actually Leng Ruoli. Chapter 12, First Stolen Kiss. "Leng Ruoli, are you there?" Jiang Muye replied, "Yes." It took dozens of seconds before the next message was sent. "Leng Ruoli, can I ask you for a favor? It may be abrupt, but I have no other options, and no one else can help me. Of course, you can refuse me if you are in a difficult situation." Jiang Muye, what? He was very confused. It seemed as if she found it difficult to speak. "What is it that makes you feel embarrassed?" When Jiang Muye was curious, a message came from the other side. Jiang Muye's eyes widened. Suddenly his face felt hot. Indeed, it is difficult to talk about. 5 minutes later, the store. The system prompts, congratulations to their host, the store sign-in is successful, and you have received 200,000 renminbi. Jiang Muye wore a black baseball cap and appeared in the corner of the store in a low-key manner. His eyes were burning with excitement. There are triangular pure cotton ones, sexy lace ones, butterfly knot ice silk lace ones, and thin ones for fun. Jiang Muye felt like a thorn in his side. I suddenly became obsessed with making choices. He had no idea which one to choose. If it is for a girlfriend, the sexiest and hottest one is definitely better, but if it is for Leng Ruoli. Jiang Muye's ears suddenly started to feel hot. When he was struggling to choose what to do, the boss came over and started introducing things to him. Young man, are you wearing it for yourself or for a girl? Jiang Muye, boss, you know too much. His face turned red and he said firmly, it must be for girls. I'm a real man. The boss nodded and said with a smile, don't be embarrassed, I have a lot of boys who come here to buy for their girlfriends. It's not for my girlfriend. Jiang Muye clarified, but the boss looked at him with a look that said, boy, you're quite playful, which made Jiang Muye blush. I've never been so embarrassed before. That's it. Jiang Muye subconsciously took out a pair of packaged underwear, then pulled up his baseball cap and ran straight to the sanitary napkin area not far away. He glanced at the message sent by Leng Ruoli. Sophie, little wings, ultra-thin cotton, daily use, 240. The problem is that I can't even find it. Jiang Muye was simply dazzled by what he saw. This was the first time he bought something like this. After comparing for a long time, he finally found a pack of pink ones. He immediately started to check out all the underwear and sanitary napkins. After the settlement, Jiang Muye ran away very quickly. Don't give your boss a chance to laugh at you. Congratulations, host, you signed in at the store for 10 minutes, and now you are rewarded with 500,000 renminbi. Fortunately, there is still money to be earned, which comforts Jiang Muye's young heart. Jiang Muye soon arrived at the entrance of the women's restroom on the second floor of the teaching building. He sent a message to Leng Ruoli, informing her that he had arrived at the door. Then Jiang Muye heard footsteps coming from inside. Soon, Jiang Muye saw the other person's shy face. Her skin was all red, giving people a feeling of being a feast for the eyes. Her long eyelashes trembled, and her white teeth bit her cherry lips. She said shyly, thank you. Jiang Muye's mind echoed with the words of the little white pigeon saying that Leng Ruoli liked him, and he couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. It doesn't matter. Then can you wait for me? She raised her watery eyes, eagerly. She did have her period. Of course, it was Sister Milu who gave her the idea. This trick could get Jiang Muye to bring her sanitary napkins, which would strengthen the relationship between the two. Just by looking at what underwear Jiang Muye buys, you can tell what kind of person he is. It is clear at a glance whether he is a pure boy or a veteran driver. Jiang Muye's ambition trembled for a moment, and then he touched his nose. I'd better leave first. After all, this is the entrance to the women's restroom. It's not good to be seen by others. It will also damage your reputation and there will be some rumors. What rumors? Leng Ruoli blinked. For example, you like me to say that we are in love, cough cough cough, so it is better for us to keep a distance so as not to affect you. Jiang Muye said that he was a little embarrassed at first, but then he thought about it and realized that he was a man, so there was no need to be shy. So I said it boldly. Leng Ruoli's eyes, as clear as autumn water, curved, and then she stood on tiptoe and kissed Jiang Muye's handsome face under his surprised gaze. They are right, I like you. The warm and sweet temperature on his cheeks reminded Jiang Muye. He was kissed. Still a strong kiss. Jiang Muye covered his face in astonishment. He saw that after Leng Ruoli kissed him, her pretty face turned red and there was a sweet and happy smile on her face. I won't be influenced by others, because you are the only one who can influence me. Liking you is not a 3-minute passion, it is the result of a long-term, deliberate plan. Jiang Muye, I like you, I really like you. Leng Ruoli was now completely desperate, her hands were still nervously grasping the edge of her skirt, but the words she shouted were firm and bold. Her love was like spring water that filled her eyes, unable to dissipate yet clearly visible. Jiang Muye's heartbeat was like a drum, pounding. His temperature was gradually rising. Some blood boiling. But after his brain crashed, it gradually began to wake up. I admit that your confession is very touching. I don't think any other boy would refuse your confession. But I'm sorry, this doesn't represent me. Jiang Muye took a deep breath and said, I haven't gotten over my last relationship yet, so I'm not ready for the next one. He was prepared for Leng Ruoli to scold him or even cry in front of him. But Leng Ruoli held her head high and raised the corner of her mouth. As expected, he is the boy I like. Jiang Muye was confused. This was not what he expected. In a moment, the projection landed directly in front of Jiang Muye. I saw Leng Ruoli approaching, with a pair of eyes as clear and bright as a deer, and a gentle smile. The Jiang Muye I know is a guy who takes relationships seriously. If you agree to my confession, it will be a seamless transition. It's obvious that you're not the kind of guy who uses relationships casually. Listen, I want to pursue you and I'm determined to be with you for the rest of my life. Leng Ruoli's eyes were curved and her cheeks were red. Jiang Muye was very surprised. Suddenly he was a little flustered. Go change your sanitary napkin, I'm leaving first. He walked away quickly. My feet felt a little light. I felt a little dizzy. I was confessed to and kissed. Leng Ruoli also said that she would not give up. What exactly attracted her to me? Jiang Muye himself couldn't figure out this problem. When Leng Ruoli saw Jiang Muye leave, she subconsciously touched her lips. It's still warm. The most important thing is that I kissed Jiang Muye. So happy, she finally confessed with Sister Mailu's encouragement. Although she was not successful, she believed that Jiang Muye would be impressed by her in the near future. Chapter 13 How can Jiang Muye afford to marry me? Jiang Muye looked in the mirror after returning to the dormitory. The cheeks are just a little red, but there are no lip marks. But Jiang Muye could clearly feel that Leng Ruoli had kissed that place. Oh my god, this is the first time in my life that I was forcibly kissed. Or by the school bell. Jiang Muye's ears began to turn red. How could he ever look directly at the cold school beauty in the future? It was obvious from her attitude that she was not going to give up. Muzi, you are constipated. You have been in the toilet for so long. Fuck, I'm not constipated. Jiang Muye retorted to Little White Pigeon, do you want a beating? Little White Pigeon smiled and said, okay, let's go to the cafeteria to eat later. If we go too late, there will be no food. I'm starving. Are you hungry right after breakfast? Shit, can that little bit of food fill my stomach tilde? Okay, wait a minute, I'll be there soon. Jiang Muye washed his face and went out, going to the cafeteria with the three people. Of course, these three guys also called their girlfriends. He's the only single guy. Seeing their sweet and loving appearance, Jiang Muye was very depressed. Are you willing to let me be a light bulb? Kai's girlfriend Xiaoye smiled and said, then you should get rid of being single sooner. I heard that you left with the cold school beauty today, is there a chance? School bell Leng. Xiao Bei's girlfriend Su Waiye was confused. Isn't he with school bell Xia? How is he related to school bell Leng? Little White Pigeon said, it seems that you should disconnect the 2G network. School bell Xia is a thing of the past. Now school bell Leng is interested in our Muzi and has gone with Muzi. Su Waiye's eyes lit up, Muzi, you are really good. Jiang Muye felt very embarrassed by the teasing. He said in a deep voice, that's not the case. There's no chance for her and me. That's the cold school beauty, you have to seize the opportunity. Su Waiye said, then you can bring your girlfriend to play with us. The little white dove nodded, that's right. What should I do? Single guys can't have dinner with you guys. If you dare, just hurt each other. Jiang Muye snorted and looked at them with murderous eyes. Brother Mu, I don't dare. Isn't it okay to be wrong? The little white dove begged for mercy. Suddenly he pointed behind him and said in surprise, school beauty Xia. You're lying to me again. Jiang Muye wasn't fooled. As a result, the little white pigeon became anxious, it's true. She's coming towards us. Jiang Muye turned around suddenly and saw Xia Shiran, who was dressed brightly and beautifully, appearing surrounded by her best friends. Today, Xia Shiran wore a black beret on her head, an off-white V-neck sweater, and a dark black miniskirt. Her overall temperament was literary and gentle. Her eyes fell on Jiang Muye, and she was obviously expecting something. Yuan asked, can we share the table? Jiang Muye was about to refuse, but Kaisi greeted him, "Sure, sit together." Jiang Muye glared at Kaisi fiercely. Kaisi smiled and said, "There are too many people in the cafeteria now, and there are not enough seats. People say it's okay for classmates to share a table together." Kaisi actually still wants Jiang Muye to rekindle his old relationship with school beauty Xia. He knew that Jiang Muye actually still cared about the school beauty Xia, so as a brother he must create opportunities. Xia Shiran was very grateful and quickly sat down with her girlfriends. Coincidentally, Xia Shiran was standing right next to Jiang Muye. When Jiang Muye and Xia Shiran sat together, they were seen by the students in the cafeteria. They began to discuss. "I was wondering how Jiang Muye could not possibly not like school beauty Xia. How could he give up after proposing to her 99 times? What's the matter with the cold school Belle? Isn't it Jiang Muye's way of angering school Belle Xia? It's very likely. Ling Xiaohua has such high standards and such a cold personality that Jiang Muye can never reach her level. I think they just met by chance and Jiang Muye used her as a tool. However, no matter how many tricks Jiang Muye has, there is no way Ling Xiaohua will change her mind about him. Jiang Muye's efforts are in vain. A dog licker is a dog licker, and in the end he will be left with nothing." Everyone was watching the show, and they all felt that even if Jiang Muye tried his best, there was no way that school beauty Xia would be with Jiang Muye. Someone stood up for Jiang Muye and said, "No way, I think it was school beauty Xia who took the initiative to sit over there today. Maybe school beauty Xia likes Jiang Muye now." Someone immediately poured cold water on him. School beauty Xia was obviously dragged over by her roommate. She didn't go there on her own initiative. She couldn't possibly like Jiang Muye. If she did, she would have agreed to his proposal long ago. As a result, the next second, their faces were slapped and it hurt. They found that school beauty Xia actually peeled the shrimps herself and put them in Jiang Muye's bowl. "You love shrimps the most, eat them quickly." Picking up the food was surprising enough, let alone peeling the shrimp with your own hands. You know, peeling shrimp is very difficult. First, you need to peel the shrimp meat and remove the shrimp thread. This is a tedious process and will get your hands dirty. Xia Shiran is a germaphobe, but now she doesn't mind her hands being dirty. Instead, after handing the shrimp to Jiang Muye, she continued to peel the shrimp. This action shocked not only others, but even Jiang Muye himself was surprised. In the past, Xia Shiran always found peeling shrimps very troublesome. So if no one peels the shrimp, they won't eat the shrimp. Jiang Muye would patiently peel the shrimps and put all the shrimp meat in Xia Shiran's bowl. And this time, the person who repeated this thing was Xia Shiran. Jiang Muye's expression became very complicated. He saw that Xia Shiran's finger was still covered with a band-aid. It was obvious that she was scratched by the branches and leaves that day, but she didn't care at all and continued to peel shrimp for Jiang Muye. Xia Shiran peeled the shrimp carefully. In the past, she thought it was just peeling a few shrimps, there was nothing to be moved about. Anyway, peeling shrimps is not difficult. If he is willing to do it, then she can eat it. But she only now realized that peeling shrimps is a physical job. After peeling just a few, my fingers felt sticky and uncomfortable. Not to mention that in the past Jiang Muye could peel dozens of them in one go, and he had no time to eat and had to feed himself. Now Xia Shiran can fully feel it. She even felt that she had gone too far in the past. He did not sympathize with Jiang Muye and took Jiang Muye's efforts for granted. Xia Shiran held back the tears in her eyes and looked at Jiang Muye. She found that Jiang Muye hadn't even touched his chopsticks. She was puzzled and said, "Why don't you eat? It will get cold soon." The girl with glasses nodded, "Yes, this is Xiran's first time peeling shrimp for a boy, please don't be ungrateful." Yuan urged, "I am greedy just looking at it, eat it quickly, don't be angry." Even Xia Shiran's eyes were full of anticipation. Jiang Muye frowned and said, "No." System reminder, congratulations to their host for refusing Xia Shiran's offer of food. Your backbone value has increased by 200 points. You will be rewarded with 2 million renminbi. Please keep working hard. Xia Shiran bit her lips tightly, obviously unhappy. The girl with glasses started to be aggressive. "Jiang Muye, can you stop pretending? I just didn't reject your proposal 99 times, why are you being so hypocritical? Now Xiran is peeling shrimps for you personally, and you still put on a bad face for others, isn't that too much?" Chapter 14 Seafood Allergy. Jiang Muye replied unhappily, "I don't want to eat it, but you still want to force me to eat it. Besides, I didn't force her to peel shrimp for me. Isn't this her personal behavior? Seeing his brother being scolded, little white pigeon couldn't stand it anymore and said, "She a school beauty, Muzi is allergic to seafood and can't eat shrimp." The girl with glasses was surprised and a little embarrassed at the same time. Shia Sharan was very surprised. How could that be? You used to accompany me to eat a lot of seafood. And every time he acted as if nothing had happened and looked happy. How is it possible to be allergic to seafood? Kaisi said coldly, so every time he comes back, he has to go to the hospital for drip and take anti-allergy medicine. Jiang Muye said in a deep voice, Kaisi. He doesn't want to talk about the past anymore. What's past is past. He has a clear conscience and no regrets. Kaisi sighed deeply. He just felt that Jiang Muye's sincerity in the past had gone to waste, which was such a pity. If you can assist, then of course you should. Shia Sharan was dejected. She had no idea that Jiang Muye had been silently giving so much behind the scenes. She thought she knew Jiang Muye very well, but now she realized that it was Jiang Muye who knew her the most. It was all because she was too self-righteous and betrayed Jiang Muye's sincerity. Kaisi, you should eat the shrimp. Jiang Muye put the shrimp into Kaisi's bowl. He didn't give Shia Sharan food simply because Shia Sharan's hand was still injured. Eating shrimps can easily cause wound inflammation. But Shia Sharan didn't know what Jiang Muye was thinking. Instead, she felt that Jiang Muye was deliberately ignoring her. Obviously her favorite food is shrimp. There were tears in Shia Sharan's eyes. She felt extremely regretful now. She really wanted a time machine so that she could travel back to the past and undo all the harm she had caused Jiang Muye. Seeing the atmosphere gradually becoming cold, Xiaoye, who was a social nerd, came out to smooth things over. Okay, stop arguing, let's eat. Yes, the food is cold. Kaisi livened up the atmosphere. But Shia Sharan had no appetite to eat. She glanced at Jiang Muye next to her from time to time. He was cold as ice, and his whole body seemed to have reverse scales that kept her thousands of miles away. That feeling of distance made Shia Sharan feel very depressed, and eating was as tasteless as chewing wax. Seeing that Shia Sharan was in a bad mood, her best friend naturally became anxious. Yuan immediately started to offer suggestions, saying, I heard that the suspect is coming out, I have a movie membership card, why don't we go watch it together? Yes, I heard it's very good, the action scenes are superb, I've always wanted to watch it. Xiaoye nodded and said to Kaisi, let's go. Kaisi said, I want to watch it too. We are all gathered here and we don't have any classes in the afternoon. Let's go together. He fixed his eyes on Jiang Muye and said, right, Muzi. Haven't you been waiting for this movie to be released for a long time? Jiang Muye glanced at Shia Sharan who was waiting expectantly, his lips moved slightly, and he was struggling inside. In the past, watching a movie with Shia Sharan was an opportunity one had always dreamed of. But now that he and Shia Sharan have made their relationship clear, things become a little awkward. The most important thing is that Jiang Muye is afraid that he will waver again. If he falls in love again and returns to his original life track, he will be too cowardly. If you're not going because of me, then I won't go. Shia Sharan became a little depressed. Yuan was not happy. How can this be possible? You really want to watch this movie, so if you want to go, let's go together. If you don't want to go, we won't go either. But when Shia Sharan hesitated, a clean and magnetic voice suddenly came into the air, saying firmly, go. Shia Sharan was secretly delighted. Jiang Muye finally softened his heart towards her. Whether I go to see the movie or not has nothing to do with you. It's purely about the movie. Jiang Muye's statement slowly extinguished the joy in Shia Sharan's heart. Jiang Muye was clearly drawing a line in the sand. This made Shia Sharan's eyes as red as a rabbit's. The girl with glasses gently comforted Shia Sharan, don't think too much, at least he is willing to go, so there is a chance. Yuan and Xiaomiao also nodded, which made Shia Sharan perk up. So a group of people started to go to the cinema. Jiang Muye's system voice sounded again. Congratulations to their host, you have successfully signed into the cinema, and you will be rewarded with a chance to draw a lottery. Jiang Muye immediately started the lottery. Result, system reply, congratulations to their host for obtaining a luxury car garage, which contains 30 luxury cars. You can choose any of them. The following is a list of luxury cars. Jiang Muye clicked on the list of luxury cars. Rolls-Royce Phantom, Maybach S580, convertible Ferrari 458, Porsche 918, Ferrari F12 TDF, Alfa RV, Mercedes-Benz SLR 722. Jiang Muye was completely shocked. The system is awesome. He gave away 30 luxury cars and a luxurious garage at one time. These luxury cars were all very valuable and were the latest models. Although Jiang Muye had never driven one, he had heard of their names. Xiaoqiang, who lives in the dormitory opposite to him, bought an Audi and spends every day in Versailles. If I just drove any of the sports cars on the list in front of him, he would be so pissed off that he would die. It feels good just thinking about it, and it's so cool. When Jiang Muye was excited, the system reminded him, "Host, please don't get carried away. Although you have obtained a luxury sports car, the annual repair and maintenance is a huge expense, and you also have to pay a huge insurance premium." Jiang Muye woke up instantly. Yes, what a sports car needs most is maintenance. And the parts for these sports cars are extremely expensive. The small headlights of a random sports car would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, not to mention the cost of repairing them. Having so many cars for myself now is a sweet burden. But fortunately he has a system that can make money, so what is there to be afraid of? He works hard to sign in and complete tasks, making money easily, and can definitely afford these 30 luxury cars. The system has notified that the car keys have been placed in Jiang Muye's backpack. Jiang Muye touched it and found it was true. A bunch of car keys. Jiang Muye was so happy. No wonder the backpack felt a lot heavier. System, the garage is in the duplex Sea View Villa in Jianglingyuan. You can check it yourself when the time comes. I am an honest system and never do deceptive things. Jiang Muye was very satisfied and planned to go for inspection after watching the movie. When Xia Shiran was about to buy a ticket, a tall figure passed by her. "Hello, I'd like 11 tickets for Suspect for the VIP room." Jiang Muye's magnetic voice rang out. Xia Shiran was a little surprised, and immediately blushed and said, "I'll buy it." Jiang Muye said firmly, "There is no reason to let girls pay the bill." Xia Shiran's face turned red. I feel that Jiang Muye is so manly now. Why was I so slow to notice it before? Little did they know that Jiang Muye's idea was very simple. First, I don't want to be a gigolo and be gossiped about. Second, there is a system task, and Xia Shiran is refused to pay for it. Third, he didn't need the money and didn't want to owe Xia Shiran anything. Jiang Muye's actions obviously surprised Xiao Beige and the others. The little white dove put his hand on Jiang Muye's shoulder and reminded him, "Brother, the VIP room is too expensive. You bought a room for 11 people at once. We can just watch the ordinary one." Chapter 15, The Heroic Spirit. Xia Shiran nodded, "Yes, the ordinary hall is also fine." She didn't want Jiang Muye to spend too much money, and even wanted to secretly transfer money to Jiang Muye. When everyone persuaded Jiang Muye to order a regular movie theater ticket, Jiang Muye calmly said, "Not much. Since we are watching a 3D movie, we should watch it in a theater with the best sound effects to feel it." Xiao Beige and others were shocked. When did Jiang Muye become so heroic? You should know that the ticket price in the VIP hall is more than 3 times the normal price. But now that school beauty Xia was here, she couldn't possibly refuse Jiang Muye's request, so she let Jiang Muye buy the ticket for the VIP room. Xia Shiran bought 2 cups of Coke and popcorn. She handed one of the Cokes to Jiang Muye and said, "Here you go." "No, I don't like carbonated drinks. This is the truth. Jiang Muye really doesn't drink Coke. Coca-Cola kills sperm. So he rarely drank Coke after elementary school." After being rejected by Jiang Muye, Xia Shiran felt a little disappointed. But Yuan's best friends could clearly see what Xia Shiran was thinking. So when they sat down in the cinema, they deliberately urged Xia Shiran to sit next to Jiang Muye. Xia Shiran looked at her besties with gratitude. Suddenly, he glanced at Jiang Muye next to him. He looked very handsome, with superior features, and one look at him made one's heart beat wildly. Xia Shiran blushed completely with embarrassment. In the past, her mind was full of study, and she didn't pay too much attention to Jiang Muye. She enjoyed Jiang Muye's kindness and thought it was natural. After all, she had enjoyed preferential treatment since she was a child, not to mention that Jiang Muye liked her. Jiang Muye could naturally feel the burning gaze beside him. He looked over expressionlessly and saw Xia Shiran looking as flustered as a little rabbit. Her skin was burning and she was hesitant. Xia Shiran subconsciously passed the popcorn tube to Jiang Muye and asked shyly, "Would you like some?" She felt itchy. It's a blessing to be able to eat the same thing as the one you love. She also prayed that the other party could eat it. Jiang Muye lowered his eyes and took in Xia Shiran's shy look. Xia Shiran held her breath and waited nervously, then she heard a faint, "Oh." Just when she thought Jiang Muye was going to reject her, she heard the rustling sound of popcorn. Xia Shiran looked at Jiang Muye with bright eyes. She had seen him eating popcorn. Although not much attention was paid to her, it was enough to make her happy for a long time. Xia Shiran smiled sweetly, with the excitement and longing of a young girl in love. When Jiang Muye went to grab some popcorn, he felt a smooth sensation. His fingertips trembled slightly. These were girls' hands. Upon closer look, it was indeed the case. Her hair is slender and smooth, with a light pink French manicure, which makes her look even more watery. Jiang Muye made strong eye contact with her. She hardly dared to blink, and even lowered her hot little face shyly. This caused ripples in Jiang Muye's heart. Just like a stone thrown into a calm lake, it is impossible for there to be no ripples at all. In the past, Jiang Muye wanted to touch the other person's hand. It must be soft, and he really wants to hold onto it. Now that he had felt it, it was just as he had thought. But this is completely different from the feeling I had when I was a young boy. Jiang Muye pretended to be calm, quickly moved his hand away, and ate popcorn very calmly. Xia Shiran's heart was pounding. My heart feels like it's about to explode. Is this considered holding hands? This was her first intimate contact with Jiang Muye. Xia Shiran started to giggle happily. She touched her fingers and still felt the warmth from the other person's fingers. Very nice. She subconsciously glanced at Jiang Muye's handsome face. She secretly swore in her heart that she would get Jiang Muye back. Jiang Muye watched the movie. It was a really good movie. The 3D effect was really good. No wonder so many people came to watch the movie. There was a reason for it. However, there were some thrilling and scary scenes, and the 3D effects looked particularly real, which scared quite a few people. Jiang Muye, on the other hand, didn't care. Anyway, he is the kind of person who can eat while watching Sadako. While Jiang Muye was watching the movie calmly, he heard a moan from the side, and then a delicate body came over. The pleasant scent belonging to the other person wafts into your nose. Jiang Muye's body instantly went numb. He could feel the other person trembling. How terrible. She was very close, so close that a rapid breath sprayed on his cheek. Jiang Muye took a quick glance and found that Xia Shiran's hair was disheveled and her face was pale with fear, but her beauty could not be erased, making her look even more pitiful. Jiang Muye frowned. He stubbornly stretched out a hand and covered her eyes. It'll be over in a while, I'll tell you. Xia Shiran was very surprised. She felt the warmth of the hand covering her eyes. The man's unique maturity charmed her. Everything around him seemed to slow down, only the sense of security he brought to her was particularly clear. Xia Shiran secretly raised the corners of her lips. She was so overjoyed that she couldn't express it in words. His whole face was glowing and full of vitality. Su Wei was closest to them, and after stealing a glimpse of Jiang Muye's actions, she was particularly envious of Xia Shiran. Jiang Muye was so calm and was able to calm the woman down at the critical moment. Then look at her boyfriend, he is still in her arms, crying in fear. Su Wei said to the little white pigeon in frustration, "Look at what Jiang Muye did." The little white dove was very depressed. Can he compare with Jiang Muye? Jiang Muye has always been the child of other people's families in the eyes of his parents. Apart from being stubborn in love, he is impeccable in other aspects. Xia Shiran was still warmly protected by Jiang Muye, so he moved his reluctant hand away. A firm voice sounded, "Okay." Xia Shiran felt a bright light in front of her eyes. She felt a little lost. He subconsciously looked at Jiang Muye next to him. There was no emotion on his face, nor did he show any embarrassment. Instead, he didn't seem nervous at all. He just lazily leaned back in his chair and continued watching the movie. Xia Shiran was not discouraged. For her, it's already good enough. As long as Jiang Muye took the first step towards her, the remaining 99 steps would be up to her. After the movie, Xia Shiran asked Jiang Muye with a blushing face, "Do you have any activities later?" Jiang Muye said calmly, "No." Seeing that there was hope, Xia Shiran asked, "Then can you?" When she asked him out on a date, Jiang Muye quietly replied, "I'm going to bed. I'm sleepy. I can accompany you, but that's not right." After hearing Jiang Muye's words clearly, Xia Shiran stopped talking abruptly. Her face was burning and she wished she could crawl into a hole in the ground. Sleep with him? That's too soon. But she almost said what was in her heart. Jiang Muye narrowed his eyes and said calmly, "I'm leaving first." Okay, Xia Shiran nodded shyly, watching Jiang Muye put his hands in his pockets and leave the theater. Her little face flushed. "See you tomorrow." Yuan asked doubtfully, "You just let him go like this?" Chapter 16 DR ring is only given to one person in a lifetime. Then I can't force him to stay. Xia Shiran said seriously, "Now that he can see me, I am already very satisfied. He has been waiting for me for so long, so what does it matter if I wait for him for just a short while?" She used to find Jiang Muye's pursuit annoying. It affects her studies a lot. But now she found that he was no longer pursuing her, and studying became a very boring thing. It turns out that reading becomes interesting only with him around. Xia Shiran now just wants to regain her greatest pleasure. "Then shall we go back to the dormitory now?" asked the round-faced girl. Xia Shiran shook her head. "No, let's go buy a ring." "Buy a ring?" Yuan was very surprised. Xia Shiran nodded and said, "I didn't find the DR ring he lost before, so I'll go buy him a DR ring and give it back to him." Yuan looked at Xia Shiran's determined look and sighed in her heart. She used to think Jiang Muye was infatuated enough, but now she found that Xia Shiran was very affectionate. Xiao Miao asked, "Do you want to buy a DR ring? That means you can only give it to one person in your lifetime. You can only buy one DR diamond ring with your ID card. Think about it carefully. If you regret it, you can't buy a ring for anyone else." Xia Shiran nodded and said with a firm look, "I've thought it through. Since Jiang Muye gave me his only one before, what does it matter if I give him to my only one? He is my only one and irreplaceable. Let's go buy a ring." Yuan supported Xia Shiran. Xia Shiran was very happy and immediately took her girlfriends to the DR store in the mall. When the salesgirl heard that Xia Shiran came alone to buy a diamond ring to pursue someone, she was a little surprised. For such a beautiful girl, does she need to buy a diamond ring to pursue someone? Which brat is so blind? Xia Shiran kept looking at the DR ring in the counter. "After searching for a week, I finally found the one that Jiang Muye bought." "How much is this one?" Xia Shiran asked. "This diamond ring is one of DR's best-selling ones. It's called the Beloved Model and costs 8,600 yuan, the salesgirl introduced. Xia Shiran was surprised. It turns out that diamond ring is called True Love. Jiang Muye regarded her as his true love, so he bought this ring. But she didn't cherish it at all. "It costs 8,600 yuan. It's so expensive. I thought it was just an ordinary model costing 2 or 3,000 yuan. Yuan exclaimed. "Oh, now I remember. Gao Kai said before that Jiang Muye had been working for a long time. He lived frugally in those months and hid in the dormitory every day to save money to buy something. It turned out that he wanted to buy this ring. It turns out that his feelings for Shiran are so true and he is so willing to spend money." The girl with glasses originally did not approve of Jiang Muye and Xia Shiran being together. But now, she was moved by Jiang Muye's sincerity. It turns out that Jiang Muye's feelings are so sincere. If there was a boy who was so handsome and infatuated with her pursuing her, she would probably agree. From this perspective, Xia Shiran really doesn't cherish such a devoted boy. Even if Jiang Muye ignores Xia Shiran now, Xia Shiran deserves it. It's Xia Shiran's fault for being so pretentious. She could turn a blind eye to such a romantic and affectionate relationship right in front of her. Xia Shiran couldn't help laughing at the chattering of her girlfriends. She didn't know any of this. It turns out that Jiang Muye has been silently paying so much behind the scenes. She can't even bear to eat instant noodles for a day, let alone for several months in a row. She knew that Jiang Muye's family situation was not good and his parents both worked in factories. It was just because his mother and Jiang Muye's mother were high school classmates and best friends, and they got pregnant at the same time, so he arranged a baby marriage as a joke. Xia Shiran never took this childhood marriage seriously, and felt that she would never be with Jiang Muye in the future. But now Xia Shiran felt that it was extremely wrong. She thanked her parents for arranging this marriage for her. If she and Jiang Muye had not been engaged as children, she might not have been associated with Jiang Muye. Xia Shiran asked the salesgirl to take out the ring. She almost trembled as she put the diamond ring on her hand. She looked at Jiang Muye's diamond ring 99 times. But I never wore it once. Now that I wear it on my hand, it fits much better than Xia Shiran had imagined, and it looks very nice. But if Jiang Muye put it on me instead of me, it would definitely be more suitable. When Xia Shiran thought of this, she began to feel excited. She immediately started shopping for the ring, saying, "I want this one." Okay. The salesgirl nodded and started packing it for her. Xia Shiran started swiping the card directly. Although her parents are both university professors and her family is well off, she used her own scholarship to buy the house this time. She wanted to tell Jiang Muye that she was very sincere. She was serious about being with him. After buying the ring, Xia Shiran put it in a velvet box. "Why did you take it off?" Yuan asked puzzledly. Xia Shiran's lips curled up, her face full of longing. "I want to wear it after I successfully proposed to Jiang Muye." This shocked her friends. I originally thought that Xia Shiran just wanted to replace the lost diamond ring. Who would have thought that Xia Shiran was proposing to her now? The girl with glasses said in surprise, "Xiran, have you thought it through? That's a marriage proposal. There are so many people watching. It would be embarrassing if it doesn't work out. If I fail, at most I will lose face. But if I succeed, I will get a person, so I will win no matter how I look at it." Xia Shiran raised the corners of his lips. Xia Shiran's optimism immediately won the support of everyone. If one doesn't give everything for love, can it still be called youth? Youth is meant to have a passionate love affair so that you won't regret it. After watching the movie, Jiang Muye took a taxi to the duplex sea view villa in Jianglingyuan. This villa is close to the sea, has pleasant scenery and covers an area of more than 1,000 square meters. It is so big that it is frightening, and the interior is beautifully decorated. The overall decoration is of great value. Jiang Muye could see the sea and beach outside as soon as he opened the curtains. "It's really nice to live here. You can watch the tides rise and fall. It's so comfortable." Jiang Muye thought of the luxury car garage and rushed over there again. Although Jiang Muye had already prepared himself mentally. But when I really saw the row of luxury cars, I was still stunned. Rolls-Royce Phantom, Maybach S580, convertible Ferrari 458, Porsche 918, Ferrari F12 TDF, Alfa RV, Mercedes-Benz SLR 722. Any car here is priced sky high. Jiang Muye tried sitting in each car. So comfortable. The high price makes sense. How cool it would be to drive a car like this in school. Jiang Muye hesitated for a long time before finally deciding to drive away the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost among the dozens of cars. After all, he can only drive one car by himself, and he can't drive all the cars. The others are just backups. If he gets tired of driving the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost one day, he can replace it. Jiang Muye drove the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost sports car away. It feels so good to fly on the road with the top down, especially with the roof down. After Jiang Muye had a taste of the rich man's enjoyment, he felt that the cold wind was too cold, so he simply closed the tent. Jiang Muye parked his car in a shop opposite the school for maintenance, so that he could pick up the car conveniently after the maintenance. Maintaining a car is expensive, especially a new luxury car. But Jiang Muye is not short of money now, so he paid the tens of thousands of yuan in maintenance fees without blinking an eye and just brushed his teeth and left. This surprised the clerk very much. This must be the legendary rich second generation. He is so rich and willful. Night slowly fell, the moonlight hung dimly on the treetops and sneaked into the window. I saw. Chapter 17, There is no love in esports. Leng Ruoli was seen with her hair loose, wearing a black suspenders and denim shorts, and was concentrating on playing games. Her fingers tapped on the keyboard, her right hand began to operate the mouse, and her eyes never left the computer screen. The plump little rabbit on her chest trembled with the intense game, and even her bright red lips were slightly bitten because of the tense atmosphere. At this moment the door was opened. Emilu, who had a slim waist and long legs and was very sexy, walked in carrying an LV bag. Seeing Leng Ruoli's enthusiasm for the game, she was very surprised. Don't you not play games? Why are you suddenly playing PUBG? Milu downloaded it several times before, but it always crashed, so she uninstalled it directly. I had asked Leng Ruoli to play with me before, but Leng Ruoli was not interested in this chicken game. Leng Ruoli smiled and said, "The boy I like really likes playing the game of chicken, so I want to practice my skills well." I knew that Jiang Muye liked to play the game PUBG from the screenshots of his moments. Therefore, Leng Ruoli thought about learning how to play the game well so that she could play sweetly with Jiang Muye. What skills do you need to practice? Just let him help you improve your skills. Milu couldn't understand. Boys want girls to be less skilled, so that they can play games more passionately. I searched on Baidu and found that people online say there is no love in esports. Having a chicken-eating girl is nothing but a cloud. Moreover, if the girl is too bad, it will easily affect his ranking. I don't want to hold him back. Leng Ruoli said seriously. I don't want him to carry the burden for me. If possible, I want to fight side by side with him. I'll give him a level 3 helmet, a level 3 armor, and a level 3 bag. I can eat chicken with the person I like. After hearing Leng Ruoli's sincere speech, Milu began to sigh. Your realm is really high, worthy of learning. Just when Leng Ruoli was about to say something, there was a whoosh sound and it showed that he was killed by the AWM. Leng Ruoli stopped in the top 10. Damn it, I almost lost Tilder. Leng Ruoli pouted and said, I've been Voldemort for a long time. No, I have to try again. Ruoli, you are too cute. Milu said with emotion, it is a great honor for a boy to be liked by you. I don't know what blessing that boy has that makes you like him so much. Leng Ruoli's face immediately turned red. Of course he deserves my love. I am even proud of how outstanding the person I like is. When talking about Jiang Muye, Leng Ruoli's eyes were full of stars and she couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth. He is good at studying, has a good personality, is serious about his work, is devoted and loyal, kind and enthusiastic, and most importantly, he is handsome, and... Okay, stop, I know everything. Milu quickly stopped. Looking at Leng Ruoli's face full of admiration, if I hadn't interrupted her, Leng Ruoli would probably have continued talking. It's obvious that Leng Ruoli really likes the other person. Milu also began to smile meaningfully and joked, so what underwear did he buy you today? Leng Ruoli's little face drooped and suddenly turned red. Say it Tilder, Milu began to tickle Leng Ruoli. Leng Ruoli smiled, her face becoming more and more red. She bit her lower lip and whispered, he bought pure cotton. Wow Tilder, Milu started to get excited, then you have found a treasure. Why? Leng Ruoli was a little confused. He bought lace, which proves he's an experienced person. He bought ice silk, which proves he's slutty. He bought pure cotton, which proves he's just a bitch. Milu's hands were swinging happily, and even her plump breasts were shaking noticeably. Just push him down. Boys who are reserved and flirty are the most attractive. They look reserved on the outside, but are wild on the inside. Just a simple hook of the hand can turn a little puppy into a little wolf. Milu said excitedly, what are you still hesitating about? Leng Ruoli was very embarrassed, isn't this a bit bad? She is very shy. Although I have fantasized about being in a relationship with Jiang Muye, holding hands, hugging, and kissing him, that would be the best. But I didn't think of any home runs. It's best for boys to do this kind of push down. If she throws the other person. Leng Ruoli is now as shy as a slightly ripe pomegranate, bright red, lovable, and really wanting someone to take a bite of it. Actually, it's not difficult to knock down a boy. Although I haven't done it, I have watched a lot of idol dramas. If it doesn't work, we can get him drunk, and then. While Milu was making the indescribable description, Leng Ruoli's tender cheeks had already turned pink. It's easy to think about, but it's not that simple to implement. Sister Milu, I want to play games. Leng Ruoli, who was very shy, quickly changed the subject and started another game. But her mind was not on the game. Instead, some bad yellow waste appeared all at once. Jiang Muye unbuttoned his shirt, revealing his sexy Adam's apple, and looked at her drunkenly. Then she rode on him, leaned over and kissed his beautiful lips, then took his hand and... No, I can't keep thinking about it. Leng Ruoli closed her eyes and was daydreaming when she heard a gunshot. She died again. I want to cry. While Leng Ruoli was actively playing the chicken game over and over again, Jiang Muye also opened the chicken game. Little White Dove went on a date with his girlfriend. Jiang Muye, Kaizi and Lao He were the only ones left in the dormitory. There is still one person missing in the fourth row. Kaizi said, "There are not enough people. Please bring one more person. My place is full." Jiang Muye glanced at his friend list. He saw that there was a friend online, Firefly. Without even thinking, he just pulled it over. Soon, Firefly entered the room. Wearing the latest skin, soft and tender. Youthful and energetic. It seems that he is still a RMB player, but his level is very low, only silver. Old he was curious and started to ask Jiang Muye, "Liu, is that a girl? Muzi, when did you add me?" Jiang Muye was also very confused. Who is Firefly? He had no impression. As a result, Liu started to mic. A cold and pleasant voice sounded, "I am Leng Ruoli." As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Old his phone almost fell to the ground. He was very surprised and asked, "Leng digest?" Then he glared at Jiang Muye and asked, "What's going on? How do you have the game account of the school beauty Leng?" Kaizi, who is usually calm, was also very excited. This is the cold school beauty. All the boys in the school dreamed of playing games with her, but now she's playing PUBG with them. Even Jiang Muye was shocked. Only then did he realize that he was Leng Ruoli's WeChat friend. In addition, he logged in with his WeChat account, so he naturally had the other party's game account and could invite her over. Jiang Muye immediately began to think of the other party's naked confession, and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Should I kick the other person out or keep him in the room? Chapter 18: The Mysterious Gift from the Goddess. When Jiang Muye was in a dilemma, Old he said excitedly, "Don't worry, Campus Beauty Line, we are here to make sure you win the game. I am a gun god." Kaizi nodded, "I guarantee you will win easily. There will be no problem getting on our convoy. When the time comes, just follow us." Who was the person who was just beaten up? Jiang Muye glanced at Kaizi. Kaizi laughed, "Don't break up when things are tough. The cold school beauty is unyielding and we are more than capable of taking care of her. Then you can join our team." Seeing that his roommates were all very enthusiastic, Jiang Muye couldn't possibly not give Leng Ruoli face, and it would be too cruel to kick a girl out directly. "Okay." Leng Ruoli said softly. Soon, a game notification sound was heard, and Kaizi and Lao He received a gift message at the same time. Kaizi and Lao He clicked it at the same time. Upon closer inspection, I discovered it was a gift. "All the gifts are from my good friend, Liu." Lao He was excited. It turned out to be the ice and snow crystal corset that I wanted the most. Kaizi was very excited. "What's going on? Am I seeing right? It's actually a hunter coat. Isn't it that even if you draw it, you can't buy it? It's all based on luck. How did you get it?" Leng Ruoli's calm voice sounded, saying, "My family has a cooperation with Photon Studio, so I just said hello." Just such a simple sentence can make people envious, jealous and hateful. You have to know that these skins may not be available to others even after working hard for several seasons, but now Leng Ruoli can get them easily just by giving a greeting. Who wouldn't he be happy if they could get something for free now? Kaizi and Lao He were happy for a long time. Old he glanced at Jiang Muye and immediately became cocky. "Why don't you have one? Could it be that the school beauty Ling didn't give it to you?" Jiang Muye did not see any reminders from the game background. But he didn't care. Anyway, the game of PUBG is all about skills. It's not Krypton Gold. No matter how beautiful your skin is, you will still be beaten to death first. As a result, Leng Ruoli heard Lao His voice, and she immediately said shyly, "No. The ones given to Jiang Muye must be carefully selected." Ding dong. Jiang Muye's back-end mailbox immediately started to receive reminders. City Defender Windbreaker. UZI Rage. Night Hunter. Gold Scar L Gun Skin. Supreme Golden Dragon Set. Invincible Parachute. Olive in a Frying Pan. Golden Maserati. Jiang Muye was dazzled by all of it. He was shocked. Leng Ruoli actually gave more than 30 rare gifts in one go. These may not be available even if you have money, the probability of winning is only %. This is a skin that truly belongs to the European Emperor. Lao he was completely shocked. He looked at Jiang Muye with envy. Please lend me your game account, it's really awesome. Kaisi gasped, this will cost a lot of money. Jiang Muye was still immersed in shock and couldn't come out. These were all what Jiang Muye had always dreamed of, especially the golden Maserati. He had previously thought it was too expensive at over 2,000 yuan, but after the promotion ended, the price was raised to 5 or 6,000 yuan, and now it is even more priceless. It has become Jiang Muye's dream car, which is a big pity. I didn't expect that I actually had it. Not to mention that he also gave me an invincible parachute and a supreme golden dragon suit. It's just a dream. This is simply the full level of equipment. So awesome. Jiang Muye suddenly felt a little pressured. No matter how rich a girl is, her money doesn't come from the wind. He didn't want to be a freeloader, so he immediately said, "You must have spent a lot of money, I will give you money back." Now he is not short of money and has become a hidden rich man. As a result, old he was very surprised. He immediately started to pull Jiang Muye's wrist and said in amazement, "Are you sure? It's a lot of money." "I know." Jiang Muye was very calm. In the past, this might have been a huge sum of money for Jiang Muye. But now Jiang Muye is fearless. He didn't want to take advantage of the girl too much, especially by accepting so much money. It's not expensive. It didn't cost much. Just treat it as you playing with me and help me gain points. Leng Ruoli wanted to make things clear with Jiang Muye. She volunteered to give him a gift. Old he nodded and said, "Thank you, Campus Beauty Leng. Don't worry, I will definitely help you get higher scores." He immediately started to touch Jiang Muye's ribs with his hand and winked, "Isn't that right?" Jiang Muye must cherish such a good opportunity to show off. She is a campus beauty and she is interested in Jiang Muye. Every man should perform well and press on to win. Besides, Jiang Muye had just broken up with his love not long ago, so this was a good opportunity to heal. "Open it," Jiang Muye said. If you think about it carefully, Leng Ruoli is not short of money, and the purpose of playing games is to gain points. Then he would help her gain points as a way of expressing his gratitude for her giving him so many gifts. Leng Ruoli's mood became very cheerful. She could finally play with Jiang Muye. She had to work hard and not let him down. At the beginning of the game preparation stage, it was obvious that Jiang Muye's god-level costume and the cool Maserati sports car immediately attracted everyone's attention. Immediately, someone on the World Public Channel started talking on the microphone, saying excitedly, "Wow, a rich guy has appeared. Can the rich guy lead the team? This Maserati is so cool, how much did you spend to win it? Wow, there's also a supreme golden dragon. Is he here to show off his wealth? Rich man, can you take off your clothes and change? Jiang Muye, will he say he got it for free?" But even if he said it, I guess no one would believe it. Soon Jiang Muye was surrounded by a crowd of people. Yes, Jiang Muye's skin was too cool, so eye-catching and striking among a bunch of ordinary people, not to mention that he also had a Maserati. He took Leng Ruoli, Lao He, and Kaisi for a ride, which attracted many envious and jealous glances. Of course some people are jealous and will feel jealous. Very good, I'm going to beat him to pieces. I'm going to make him die as soon as he hits the ground. This kid is in trouble. He will probably be the target of a siege. All his equipment will definitely be snatched away. In a society where the strong prey on the weak, are you all beasts? How can you treat your rich brother like this? I like it. Leng Ruoli was not convinced and replied, "I won't die as soon as I hit the ground. I will protect him." Leng Ruoli's voice was clear and pleasant, as moving as a wind chime, and the boys on the world's public screen immediately began to howl. "Wow, there's a girl. Protect the girl in front, you rich man, you can't take the girl all for yourself. Hey, all the girls are rich tilder, I would love to have a girl protect me, I'm so envious." Those people who were clamoring to beat Jiang Muye to death were filled with envy, jealousy and hatred. Isn't it infuriating? It's okay that he's a big spender, but there's also a girl with such a nice voice to protect him. Chapter 19 Jiang Muye, you are very lucky. Old he immediately made a sound of tut-tut and said enviously, "Muzi, you are so lucky." Kaisi said, "Even the cold school beauty came to protect you, you have a bright future." Jiang Muye's face flushed red, and he said, "What nonsense are you talking about?" He turned on the world microphone and responded to those netizens who were shouting, no matter how much you shout, I will still shoot you in the head. Jiang Muye spoke in a wild and uninhibited manner, and his lazy tone revealed his fearlessness. Everyone gasped. The local tyrant's words are shocking. Could this be the legendary sharpshooter? Rich man, I didn't say anything about you, I want to hug your thigh tilder. I think he's just showing off. Isn't it said that 9 out of 10 players who spend money are bad at playing? He'll be done for soon. Leng Ruoli said subconsciously, Jiang Muye, don't listen to them, I believe you can do it. Her voice was particularly firm, and she was full of confidence in Jiang Muye. Kaizi quickly turned off their microphone and said to Jiang Muye in surprise, this is the most words I have ever heard Ling Xiaohua say. Old he nodded, who said it wasn't true. The cold school beauty is so cold to other boys. You must be so lucky. Jiang Muye said calmly, play the game well, where to jump? Port G. Lao he said, that's too dangerous. This time we have the cold school beauty, do you want her to die? Kaizi said, let's play jungle, so we can develop for a while. If it was Jiang Muye, it would have been so cool to jump directly to G-Port or the military base and start killing people. But this time, I agreed to bring Ling Ruoli with me, so I'll just proceed step by step. When Jiang Muye was about to change the skydiving shop, Ling Ruoli asked in surprise, are you not going to G-Port anymore? Jiang Muye said, it's too dangerous. It won't be dangerous at all if you're here. Leng Ruoli blurted out subconsciously. Jiang Muye's face instantly became hot. Her voice was so sincere that it made his heart beat faster. Lao He and others immediately started laughing secretly. Leng Ruoli also realized that she was too direct. Her face flushed and she said, just jump to Port G, don't worry about me. I will protect myself well and will never hold you back. Seeing Leng Ruoli said so, Jiang Muye stopped being shy and said, okay, let's jump to Port G, and you stay behind to pick up the bastards. Leng Ruoli nodded and said with a smile, okay. Lao He and Kaizi looked at each other. Is this really a cold school beauty? The legendary cold school beauty who is not interested in men and is as cold as ice. Now in front of Jiang Muye, she is just a soft and cute girl. If their voices hadn't been the same, they would have suspected that someone was playing for them. Jiang Muye took Leng Ruoli directly to Port G. Just as he imagined, there were large groups of people jumping to G-Port. Lao He was very flustered, oh my god, why are there so many people? Kaizi was very depressed, wow, we are really going to be killed this time. You said it's okay for us to become box spirits, but what if we drag Ling Xiaohua into the gutter this time? Calm down, calm down. It's not possible to kill them all. Jiang Muye was very calm. At this moment, he has entered the system store and started to use his backbone points to exchange for their professional god skill. This skill allows Jiang Muye to operate at a god level, hit the target every time, and become a super god comparable to professional game players. So Jiang Muye is very calm now, not at all nervous. Old he sighed, don't brag just because Ling Xiaohua is here. Although you are usually very accurate in shooting, can you withstand a group of people attacking you? How many times have you been shot today? Jiang Muye's ability is not bad, otherwise he wouldn't have reached this level. But Jiang Muye was very careless and always went to popular places, but he was always killed at the critical moment. It's just a matter of luck. This time it's definitely different. Jiang Muye held his head high, very confident. I don't believe you. Old he didn't believe Jiang Muye and felt that he was about to die. Especially since he had just landed and was in the same room with the enemy. He was totally shocked. But the other party picked up the gun first. Oops, not good. When Old he was waiting for his death in frustration, he heard a bang. Jiang Muye came up with a frying pan and beat the other party so hard that he was unable to resist. Even with a gun, he was beaten to death by Jiang Muye with the frying pan. Muzi, you are so strong. Old he was stunned. This operation is first rate. Jiang Muye snorted, that's right, I just said it was a matter of luck. After he licked the other party's equipment, he began to look for Leng Ruoli who was hiding behind a box in the warehouse. He gave most of the gun and bullets in his backpack to Leng Ruoli. Do you have a helmet? Jiang Muye asked. Not yet. Here. Jiang Muye took off his helmet and gave Leng Ruoli the second level armor. What about you? Leng Ruoli was very worried. It's okay, you can't kill me, Jiang Muye said firmly. Nonsense, now that he has god-level skills, why is he still afraid of these minions? Then you have to be careful, Leng Ruoli shyly warned Jiang Muye. Good. Old he teased, what about me, what do I have? Jiang Muye pursed his lips and said, you're overthinking. It's bullshit. Love comes before friendship. If you promise to help her score higher, you have to do it. Besides, you are a girl, do you need protection? Jiang Muye asked back. This really made old he feel defeated. Yes, the cold school beauty is a girl, she is beautiful and rich, and she just gave me such a good skin. Not to mention helping them get higher scores, I'd even be willing to treat them to a meal. Jiang Muye said to Leng Ruoli, hide behind me. I'll come and loot the loot after I kill someone. Okay. Leng Ruoli nodded. Jiang Muye asked Leng Ruoli to hide in the corner while he went to kill the enemy. There are dangers everywhere outside, and all you can hear is gunfire. But compared to Lao He and Kaisi who were hiding here and there, Jiang Muye was jumping up and down on the iron box blatantly. Everyone thought he was going to be killed, but Jiang Muye moved flexibly amid the hail of bullets. Although he lost some blood and his second-level armor was broken, Jiang Muye's marksmanship became more and more perfect. Even when he was running out of blood, he could always attack the opponent unexpectedly and catch him off guard. Leng Ruoli, you're just a licker, Jiang Muye said in a calm and resolute voice. Leng Ruoli, who was hiding in the dark, came out. After looting for a while, she quickly hid next to Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye originally wanted to observe whether there were any enemies, but Leng Ruoli gave Jiang Muye the level 3 helmet, level 3 armor, level 3 bag, 98k sniper rifle, and multiple bullets. For you Tilder, Leng Ruoli said with a smile. Jiang Muye was very confused, just take it. No, I loot the loot just to give it to you. You have the best equipment, so you can lead us into battle. If I take the best and die first, I will be a burden to the entire team, Leng Ruoli said in an orderly manner. Jiang Muye didn't expect Leng Ruoli to have such a unique vision and be so forward-looking. Then you bet on the right person. We can win this time. Jiang Muye's mouth curled up. Chapter 20, I thought he was a bronze player, but turned out to be a king? Jiang Muye calmly accepted everything Leng Ruoli gave him. Of course, he would not let Leng Ruoli down. He drove the golden Maserati and took Leng Ruoli to get the airdrop. After Leng Ruoli licked the airdrop, gunshots were heard. Go! Jiang Muye gave the order. Leng Ruoli got into the car quickly. As the driver, Jiang Muye was naturally shot while driving, and his health was very low. Leng Ruoli was very angry. She actually dared to hit the boy she liked. She couldn't tolerate it. Be careful. When Jiang Muye was worried about Leng Ruoli, he heard a burst of fierce gunfire. It was Leng Ruoli who was shooting with an AKM assault rifle. The shooting is extremely accurate. The enemy just shot Jiang Muye once, and now he is being swept by Leng Ruoli's fierce shooting. Leng Ruoli just used all her skills to kill all the enemies around her? Jiang Muye was very shocked. I thought he was a bronze player, but he turned out to be a champion. Kaisi and Lao He were very shocked and admired. Ling Xiaohua, you are so amazing. Jiang Muye also nodded, very strong. Leng Ruoli said shyly, it's just so-so. Okay, hurry up and pack the blood. In fact, Leng Ruoli was very happy and had a strong sense of happiness. She would never admit that she had practiced in the novice field for a long time just to be able to play with Jiang Muye. When the car stopped, she jumped out and gave 20 blood boxes directly. But Jiang Muye was frightened. He chuckled, although I am low on health now, I don't need so many. One will fill my health. Leng Ruoli's face flushed immediately, then I'll keep it for you, you'll need it later. She started putting the blood box away again. The girls all know how to play, so they naturally deserve to win the chicken in this game. After playing several games in a row, they were all like this. Even after the lights were turned off, I still felt unsatisfied. When little White Dove came back from his date, he was completely stunned when he learned about their 10-game winning streak. Not to mention that when he found out that the person playing games with him was actually the school beauty Leng, he was so shocked that his jaw dropped. What did you say? The cold school beauty. Don't be ridiculous, doesn't she never play games? Xiao Beige heard that Ling Ruoli doesn't he play games, let alone this kind of shooting competitive game. Before, there was a boy who wanted to play games with Ling Ruoli, but Ling Ruoli rejected him mercilessly, saying that she had no interest in games at all. But now everyone starts to tell him that the female player on the opposite side is the cold school beauty. Are you sure this isn't April Fool's Day? Really? Jiang Muye said firmly. Ling Ruoli's pleasant voice rang out from the other side. Hello, I'm Ling Ruoli. The little white dove was stunned. It was absolutely true, it was Ling Ruoli's voice. But not so cool anymore. Why do you suddenly want to play games? The little white dove was still surprised. I want to chase someone. After Ling Ruoli said this, everyone looked at Jiang Muye and started laughing. Jiang Muye's face turned red. He scratched his head, having never expected Ling Ruoli to be so straightforward. He is the only single guy. Although Ling Ruoli did not name who it was, everyone could understand the meaning. Jiang Muye pretended to be calm and said, "It's late, go to bed early, good night." He disbanded the team immediately. As a result, Xiao Beige got anxious. I haven't finished talking to the cold school beauty yet. What are you talking about? Go to sleep. Jiang Muye glared at the little white pigeon. Little white dove shook his head. You are so lucky. During the day, school Belle Xia pursues you, and at night, school Belle Ling plays games with you. TSK, 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 do you want to be the King Shen of Qi? How about I go talk to Suyar and tell her you want to be indecisive? No, Muzi, I was wrong, isn't that enough? If you go and tell them, it will be strange if Suyar can forgive me. Look at your lack of courage. I'm going to brush my teeth and wash my face. Jiang Muye subconsciously went to the bathroom to wash up, then climbed into bed to sleep. When he took a look at his phone, he found a WeChat message. I clicked on it and found it was from Ling Ruoli. Ling Ruoli, thank you for playing games with me today. I am happy. Good night and have a good sleep. Jiang Muye subconsciously thought of the scene where Ling Ruoli helped him to get revenge in the game, and suddenly the corners of his mouth raised. At this moment, Ling Ruoli was holding her cell phone, waiting nervously. She sent the message for a long time but received no response. Although she was very sleepy, she was afraid of missing any news, so she didn't dare to sleep. Ding dong. The phone rang with a reminder. Ling Ruoli anxiously picked up the phone and took a look. 1%, good night. Ling Ruoli couldn't help but smile sweetly and rolled around on the bed, extremely happy. Great, he replied to her message. Ling Ruoli held the phone against her chest. The little rabbit jumped up and down excitedly and couldn't control himself at all. The night gradually deepened. In the early morning, the sun is shining brightly and everything is growing towards the sun. As the morning dew slowly dripped down the leaves, the quiet atmosphere was suddenly broken by a shout. Look, the cold school beauty is standing downstairs of the men's dormitory with breakfast. This caused the students to become restless. The boys who were originally sleeping soundly in the dormitory now quickly ran to the balcony to see what was going on. Sure enough, the cold campus beauty they had been dreaming about was standing downstairs of the men's dormitory. Ling Ruoli stood there gracefully, with long and dense eyelashes softly covering her eyelids. Her skin, outlined by the sun, was pretty and white, as pink and beautiful as a peeled lychee. She was wearing a beige fine knit sweater and a pleated short skirt, which made her look pretty and sexy. Her black hair was lazily tied into a bun, her delicate features were calm, and her eyes were sparkling but faint. I didn't have much interest in those boys who were drooling over me. If she hadn't been holding a bag of hearty breakfast in her hand, most people probably wouldn't have associated her with someone waiting for someone. I could see her waiting under the men's dormitory with breakfast in hand. Obviously, she is waiting for a boy. Everyone became excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Which boy is the cold school beauty waiting for? Is she in a relationship? I'm so envious. I also want to eat the breakfast of the school beauty Ling. Has the school beauty Ling been waiting here for a long time? I see her little face is red from the cold. If it were me, I would have come down to get breakfast a long time ago. Why would I let her wait downstairs? Who is so ungrateful? No way, is there still a boy that a cold school beauty would chase after? Is he too arrogant, or does he think I can't hold a knife? Amidst the discussion, another voice interrupted. She's not waiting for Jiang Muye, is she? Didn't someone take a picture of them walking together? As a result, someone immediately poured cold water on him. You're overthinking it. How could it be Jiang Muye? Jiang Muye couldn't even catch up with school Belle Xia. How could he catch up with school Belle Leng? He must have some extraordinary qualities to make school Belle Leng risk her all. That's right. Didn't someone clarify last time that Jiang Muye and Leng Ruoli just met by chance? Leng Ruoli definitely wouldn't be waiting for Jiang Muye. While everyone was talking, Leng Ruoli, who had been calm and composed, suddenly had bright eyes after seeing something. Jiang Muye. As her cheerful voice rang out, everyone saw a handsome boy appear in front of them. Chapter 21. What bad intentions can a cold school beauty have? She is just a kitten. The boy had bright eyes, was tall and handsome, and was only wearing a simple white shirt, but he looked very dignified. Everyone was shocked. The cold school beauty, who was always known for her aloofness, now smiled like a flower and ran to Jiang Muye blushing. When she smiled, it seemed as if their whole world began to brighten. There is deep admiration hidden in her bright eyes. Without hesitation, she raised the breakfast in front of Jiang Muye and said with a smile, "I brought you breakfast. I wonder if you like it." Now many boys are jealous. Not to mention that the cold school beauty brought breakfast. Even if she smiled at them, it would be worth it. Jiang Muye is so lucky. There is always a silver lining after a dark cloud. Although he failed to catch up with the school beauty Xia, he was favored by the school beauty Leng, who is prettier and richer than her. Jiang Muye is definitely not simple. You have to know that Leng Xiaobelle is the most popular, otherwise how could she be the first among the four school beauties? Jiang Muye was also very surprised. He had never expected that Leng Ruoli would come to bring him breakfast. He knew that Leng Ruoli had a crush on him, but he didn't expect her to be so bold in public. Jiang Muye also knew about Leng Ruoli's past. She liked quietness and never wanted to be in the spotlight. But to be able to have breakfast delivered to you in front of so many people, you must really enjoy it. Jiang Muye was immediately flattered. This was also the first time he received breakfast from a girl. She is also a super campus beauty. Jiang Muye's ears felt hot, and he said, "Well, I've already had breakfast, so you should have it." This was not a lie. Jiang Muye had just some milk and bread when he was upstairs. But he didn't expect Leng Ruoli would be waiting downstairs with breakfast. When Jiang Muye returned the breakfast to Leng Ruoli, everyone was shocked. You must be kidding. This was the breakfast sent by the school beauty Leng, but Jiang Muye confiscated it. This is a super straight man. Now there is a group of people who are very disappointed with what they have. You have to know that they are envious, jealous and resentful, but they can't get it, and yet some people don't even want it. It's really frustrating to compare yourself with others. Congratulations to their host for rejecting the breakfast of the cold school beauty. I will reward you with 2 million and increase your backbone value by 500. Please keep up the good work. The system's prompt surprised Jiang Muye. This is not a system that rejects freeloaders. This is a single dog system, it wants him to be alone forever. But it was better to refuse the breakfast, so Leng Ruoli could give up. Now he really has no intention of having a relationship. If possible, he just wants to study hard and make money. After Leng Ruoli received the breakfast, she did not start to cry pitifully. Even though she was a little disappointed, she would not give up on herself because of this rejection. Then can I continue to bring you breakfast tomorrow? If that doesn't work, we can go to the cafeteria to eat together. Leng Ruoli looked at Jiang Muye with eyes as clear as a deer, still refusing to give up. Jiang Muye looked at her innocent face and suddenly felt a little reluctant. Leng Ruoli added hastily, "Just treat it as your reward for taking me to play games, okay?" She carried desire. While Jiang Muye was hesitating about how to reply, Little White Pigeon and Old He came down and replied excitedly, okay, let's have lunch together." "What are you doing?" Jiang Muye glared at the two animals who were leaning against his shoulders. "Why did you agree to it on his behalf first? How could the cold school beauty have any bad intentions? She just wants to have a meal with us, and it's hard to refuse such a kind invitation." The Little White Pigeon said with a smile. Old He nodded, "Yes, we have to be gentlemen for once. It's just a meal together, can you spare a piece of meat?" Jiang Muye felt that it was not gentlemanly to refuse directly. Besides, there were so many people watching, and he couldn't refuse her face. After all, she is a girl. Oh well. Leng Ruoli immediately said shyly, see you at noon then. She smiled and left. Jiang Muye glanced at the smiling old he and little white pigeon and said, how come you two are happier than me? Muzi, you are really promising. The school beauty Ling came to bring you breakfast early in the morning and also asked you to have dinner with her. Yes, you are the light of our dormitory. I didn't expect that bachelors are so popular nowadays, and the cold school beauty can have a special liking for you. Jiang Muye thought about it and it was true. It was a very rare thing for a girl to be so proactive. Especially this person is the highly popular Leng Ruoli. To bend down and chase after me, he must be very open-minded. Jiang Muye could already feel the envious and jealous eyes coming from all directions. In everyone's eyes, being pursued by the cold school beauty must be a glorious thing. But seriously, Muzi, are you interested in Leng the school beauty? Little white pigeon asked curiously. I don't know. Jiang Muye said, in fact, I haven't adjusted myself yet. After all, I just got out of my last relationship and I didn't expect to enter the next one. Actually, you don't need to put so much pressure on yourself. Try to look around first. Maybe you will like her after getting to know her. Old he put his arm around Jiang Muye's shoulders and said, besides, the school beauty Leng is so beautiful and has such a hot body. There's no harm in trying to understand it, said Lao He. Jiang Muye didn't want to rest on his laurels, and he felt that what they said made sense. He wanted to try to see the new world and maybe discover new scenery. Thinking of this, Jiang Muye no longer felt too much pressure. When Jiang Muye and his roommates went to class, dormitory 306 was in chaos. Yuan said excitedly, I heard that Leng Ruoli went to deliver breakfast to Jiang Muye today. Is this true? The girl with glasses widened her eyes. She didn't expect that the usually reserved and cold school beauty could be so bold. Of course it's true. The news has spread all over the campus network, and Jiang Muye has become famous overnight. All the boys in the school are envious of him. Yuan said excitedly, I heard that the school beauty Leng invited Jiang Muye to dinner. Then there was a loud bang outside. Xia Shiran, who had just walked in, dropped his cell phone on the ground. Did he agree? Xia Shiran asked anxiously. Yuan subconsciously began to tell Xia Shiran, of course I agreed, after all, it was the campus beauty Leng who invited me. After hearing Yuan's words, Xia Shiran's heart broke immediately. She had never expected that Jiang Muye would actually agree to have dinner with Leng Ruoli. Seeing Xia Shiran's particularly lost look, the girl with glasses immediately began to encourage Xia Shiran, what's wrong with eating together? We are not in a relationship. As long as we are not together, we still have a chance. Maybe he is here just to piss you off. Xia Shiran's eyes suddenly began to light up. Yes, she absolutely cannot give up. If Leng Ruoli really succeeded, she would definitely regret it to death. Since the person she likes is Jiang Muye, she must give it her all. So at noon, when Jiang Muye had just finished class, he heard a commotion outside. Soon someone came to inform Jiang Muye excitedly, saying, hurry up, someone is looking for you outside. Chapter 22 New Love and Old Love. Jiang Muye was very confused. Is someone out there looking for you? Who is it? Jiang Muye subconsciously started to go outside. As a result, he found the beautiful Leng Ruoli standing at the door, with bright eyes, white teeth, and particularly tender red lips. After seeing him, a smile broke out on her originally calm face. Jiang Muye, you're here. Her voice is also sweet. Why are you here? Jiang Muye was very confused. You forgot, we are going to have lunch together. Jiang Muye suddenly realized. He almost forgot about it. Leng Ruoli really took it very seriously and came here early in the morning. Okay, let's go. Leng Ruoli subconsciously smiled and said to Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye nodded, and went into the classroom to call Xiao Beige and others. A group of people began to enter the cafeteria in a mighty manner. Leng Ruoli was obviously much more enthusiastic than usual. She asked with a smile, whatever you like to eat, just order whatever you want. It's my treat today. I'm so sorry, said the little pigeon, but she was not soft-hearted at all. She subconsciously said to the aunt, Auntie, I want braised pork ribs. I need more broth. Please don't shake the spoon. Jiang Muye was very depressed. Look at this little white dove, that's all it is capable of. I'll pay the bill. Jiang Muye couldn't let a girl pay the bill. No, I'm already very happy that you're willing to come and have dinner with me today. How can I let you treat me? Leng Ruoli subconsciously said to the cafeteria auntie, give me 1 serving of salt and pepper chicken, 1 serving of stone pot tofu, pork with preserved vegetables, 3 fresh meatball soup, steamed fish, 1 serving of stir-fried seasonal vegetables, and 1 serving of meatballs, thank you. Soon Leng Ruoli ordered the dishes and handed them to Jiang Muye, saying with a smile, for you. Jiang Muye was very surprised, didn't you order it for yourself? Of course not, I ordered it for you. Aren't these your favorites? Jiang Muye was shocked when he heard Leng Ruoli's firm tone. How do you know these are my favorites? It seemed like he had never eaten with Leng Ruoli before. As a result, Leng Ruoli began to feel guilty and her little face turned red. I guess so, since these are popular dishes. But don't you like them? Leng Ruoli's beautiful eyes were fixed on Jiang Muye, looking a little nervous. No, I like it very much. I like it very much. These are all Jiang Muye's favorite foods. His preferences are simply grasped perfectly. That's good. Leng Ruoli breathed a sigh of relief. She had been observing Jiang Muye eating. She knew by heart what he liked to eat, so how could she not know? After Jiang Muye put the dish on the table, he began to help Leng Ruoli get the plates. After all, the plates were too hot, and it was not good to burn a girl's hands. Faced with Jiang Muye's very gentlemanly behavior, Leng Ruoli's face became hot and she became even more fascinated by Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye is really nice. Xia Shiran really doesn't know how to cherish. If Jiang Muye could agree to be her boyfriend, she would definitely be twice as nice to him. No, 1,000 times better. Leng Ruoli sat in front of Jiang Muye with a heart full of happiness. Even though she was not having dinner with him alone this time, the face-to-face distance was enough to make Leng Ruoli's heart surge. Jiang Muye was her favorite person. It was a very happy thing to be able to watch the person she loved having a meal with her. When Leng Ruoli's heart was beating fast with shyness, a dark shadow fell on her. The cafeteria is too crowded. Can I sit here? Leng Ruoli suddenly raised her head and followed the voice to see the beautiful Xia Shiran in front of her. Her little face suddenly turned pale. Her red lips bit the chopsticks, and it was obvious that she didn't want Xia Shiran to insert it. The students who were watching began to get excited. Now, Campus Belle Leng and Campus Belle Xia are actually facing off, and they are still together with Jiang Muye? This is new love and old love. Everyone wanted to know who was better, and now they all started talking about it. Wow, Jiang Muye is so lucky. If it were me, I would have been hugged by girls left and right. Who said before that school beauty Xia ignored Jiang Muye and that Jiang Muye was just running towards her one-sidedly and was just a bootlicker? Didn't you see that school beauty Xia is still approaching him now? It's obvious that she cares about him. That's right. School beauty Xia is Jiang Muye's fiancée after all. Are the two school beauties competing for one man? How exciting. It would be great if I were the one competing for him. Jiang Muye was also a little surprised when he saw Xia Shiran appear. Sharing tables again? His eyes turned cold, and he said decisively, there aren't many seats around, there's no need to sit here. I don't want to eat with strangers. Jiang Muye would not give her another chance this time, and he did not want to have too much interaction with Xia Shiran. What Jiang Muye hates most is tangled relationships. Lingering ties are not his style. Leng Ruoli's eyes, which had originally been dull, immediately lit up. When she saw the resolute Jiang Muye, the corners of her mouth suddenly curled up. The other students were amazed. Shocked. Jiang Muye is rejecting the invitation of school beauty Xia? And you still say that school Belle Xia is a stranger? That's impossible. Jiang Muye liked school Belle Xia so much before. Xia Shiran's eyes suddenly became moist. She didn't expect Jiang Muye to be so heartless and not give her face in public. She put down her dignity, but what she got was his cold rejection. No, she doesn't want it. But she was too spineless to sit down forcefully. After seeing the mocking eyes of others not far away, and then seeing such a perfect rival in love, Leng Ruoli, sitting right in front of her, Xia Shiran was heartbroken watching all this. Xia Shiran ran away immediately. Xiao Beige and others admired him so much. Jiang Muye is really a man of integrity. He remained calm even when the beautiful schoolgirl Xia extended an olive branch to him. Jiang Muye really brings honor to men. School beauty Xia is talented and rather arrogant. Jiang Muye had suffered a lot in his pursuit of her. It is true that karma has its own way and heaven will never let anyone off their hook. I guess even the former school beauty Xia would never have thought that one day she would suffer a setback. After the meal, Jiang Muye left amid everyone's envious gazes. When he returned to the dormitory, Jiang Muye was surrounded by a group of boys. Obviously, Jiang Muye's glorious achievements had begun to spread among the group of people. They began to ask Jiang Muye questions all at once, their words full of envy. How did you meet the cold school beauty? I heard that she was pursuing you. Is it true or false? Jiang Muye, you are so amazing. The school hunk next door has been chasing after the cold school beauty for a long time, but the cold school beauty didn't show any interest in him. But he finally fell in love with you. I was blind before and thought you were a bootlicker, but it turns out you had a trick up your sleeve. Now both Campus Belle Lang and Campus Belle Xia are vying for your favor. You're really fighting for us men. When can you publish a book and explain how you managed to seduce these two goddesses? Which goddess are you more interested in? I have a girl I really like, please help me to get her. Chapter 23 Imitating your proposal 99 times, will Goddess Xia also be interested in me? The boys who had looked down on Jiang Muye before now began to humble themselves. They all firmly believed that Jiang Muye could help them. One by one, they either gave Jiang Muye game consoles or stuffed him with snacks, all of them trying to bribe Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye looked at these boys who were eager for knowledge and felt both amused and confused. How did he become a love guru? The previous reputation improved overnight. Jiang Muye said pretentiously, it can only be understood but not expressed in words. So if I imitate you proposing to me 99 times, will Goddess Xia be interested in me? Someone asked excitedly, but was immediately discouraged. Do you think everyone is brother Jiang? It's all about looks. Our brother Jiang is handsome, suave, and good at flirting with girls. Look, he has already won over 2 goddesses. No one thinks the other party is flattering. After all, what the other party said is true. Jiang Muye is handsome and good-looking. Although he is not the most handsome boy on campus, he is still a very handsome guy. Many girls had fallen in love with him before, but he didn't even look at them. Of course, just being handsome is not enough to make the 2 goddesses surrender to him. After all, the school hunk from the neighboring school had pursued the school Belle Lang and the school Belle Xia before, but in the end, neither goddess took the other seriously. When Lao He and his roommates saw that the dormitory was overcrowded, they were dumbfounded. Jiang Muye has become a hot commodity, and his popularity seems to be even higher than those goddesses. The most important thing was that Jiang Muye suddenly became a love expert and had many more followers. It took Jiang Muye a long time to get rid of the group of people. The little white pigeon ate the snacks that the boys bribed Jiang Muye with gusto, which was considered a blessing. Muzi, you are really amazing now. 2 school beauties are fighting for you, and now a group of boys are treating you as a love textbook. It's really impressive. Lao He nodded, yes, these snacks are a lot. They can be our food for half a year. Not only did his roommates not expect this, even Jiang Muye himself did not expect this. However, Jiang Muye was not affected by these things. He started to pack his suitcase and took the high-speed train back to his hometown. Jiang Muye packed his luggage and went downstairs, ready to take a taxi to their high-speed rail station. All the cars that the system had rewarded him with had been sent for maintenance by Jiang Muye. Besides, it would be too ostentatious to drive a luxury car home, so Jiang Muye planned to give his family some mental preparation first and then drive back when the time came. When Jiang Muye was about to hail a taxi at the door, he heard a beep. Then a white Maserati sports car stopped in front of Jiang Muye. Get in the car, I'll take you there. A gentle voice sounded. Jiang Muye shuddered and immediately looked over and saw Ling Ruoli driving the car. Her skin was snow white, with a soft glow under the sunlight, bright eyes and white teeth, and she couldn't help smiling at Jiang Muye. She is no longer as cold as the rumors say. She is now gentle and graceful. The other students who saw it were all shocked. After all, it was the first time that the goddess took the initiative to drive to pick someone up, let alone smiled at them like that. It's simply a miracle. No need, I can do it myself. Jiang Muye refused. As a result, Leng Ruoli's thick eyelashes covered her eyes, and she looked a little disappointed. Are you so unwilling to take my car? It's not easy to get a taxi here. It will be bad if you are late. Jiang Muye looked at Leng Ruoli's lost look, and he didn't hesitate to open the car door, fasten his seat belt, and said, then take me to the high-speed rail station. Tomorrow I will attend my cousin's wedding. After seeing Jiang Muye get in the car, Leng Ruoli's eyes sparkled and her mood obviously improved a lot. Okay, I'll take you there. I promise we'll arrive soon. Leng Ruoli raised her eyes slightly, and suddenly became full of energy. When Leng Ruoli drove Jiang Muye away, she attracted a lot of envious looks from people. God, luxury cars and beautiful women, how many people fantasize about it. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find it. Jiang Muye got it easily. Having any one of them would make people envious, not to mention that Jiang Muye now owns both a luxury car and a beautiful woman. After Leng Ruoli drove the car, she subconsciously said, there must be a lot of people taking their high-speed rail. If you want to go somewhere in the future, tell me. You can take my private plane. If it's inconvenient, you can take my helicopter. Have a private jet. There are also helicopters. She is indeed the daughter of a chaebol, so rich that she can act as she pleases. Jiang Muye was flattered and said, no need. You can take their high-speed train directly there. It's not a holiday and it won't be too crowded. It doesn't matter. My private jet is always idle anyway, and the pilot is at work as usual. I'm just too worried about when to let it fly. It just so happens that you can solve a big problem for me. Leng Ruoli said sincerely. Really, that's not necessary. Jiang Muye said, thank you for your kindness. Leng Ruoli was not discouraged. After sending Jiang Muye to their high-speed rail station, she immediately took out the car keys and handed them to Jiang Muye, saying, this is for you. What? Jiang Muye was very surprised. Since you don't want to take a private plane or a helicopter, you can drive. Leng Ruoli's eyelashes curled slightly, with hope, it will be much more convenient to have a car when you go out, just accept it. She was afraid that Jiang Muye would feel a lot of pressure, so she paused and said, I didn't tell you about your birthday gifts in the past, so I'll give you this to make up for it. This way it's like I didn't miss your birthday in the past, Tilda. Leng Ruoli has a sweet smile and is very charming. Jiang Muye's heart was beating rapidly. He never expected that Leng Ruoli would actually want to give him a luxury car. The world value of this sports car is estimated to be tens of millions. The result was given to him easily, or given to him in the name of his past birthday gift. Isn't this making him a blatant gigolo? I'm sorry, I can't accept this gift. Although you didn't give me a birthday present before, I didn't give you one either. Jiang Muye handed the car keys back to Leng Ruoli. Leng Ruoli's cheeks immediately turned red. If you want to give it to me, I don't mind. She also wanted to get a gift from him. It would be best if I could spend my birthday with you in the near future. No, not just birthdays. After that, she wanted him to be with her on every holiday, and it would be best if they could celebrate their wedding anniversary together in the future. Thinking of this, Leng Ruoli became even more shy. Really, no need. I can buy a car myself. Thank you for your kindness. It's getting late. I'll leave first. Jiang Muye smiled at Leng Ruoli, then started to get his suitcase and walked towards the high-speed rail station. System reminder, congratulations to their host for refusing Leng Ruoli's luxury car. Your backbone value increased by 30, and you received 1 million renminbi. Jiang Muye was very satisfied. When he was about to catch the high-speed train, he heard hurried footsteps behind him. Etc. Jiang Muye turned back suddenly. The girl, who was as fast as the wind, couldn't stop the brakes and hit his chest with her head. Jiang Muye subconsciously raised his arms to hug the other person in order to steady him. The soft touch made Jiang Muye's ears start to turn red. He could clearly feel that when the other party rushed in, her plump breasts trembled against his chest. The contact was hard to ignore, and Jiang Muye's breathing stagnated. Jiang Muye swallowed his saliva instantly. Not to mention that the other person's petite body was in his arms, and the tempting peach scent faintly passed by his nose. Chapter 24 The First Love Letter from the School Beauty. Jiang Muye felt his throat tighten and he sank deeply into it. Yes, I'm sorry. Leng Ruoli didn't expect to fall into Jiang Muye's arms and be hugged directly. Now her nose was filled with Jiang Muye's pleasant masculine scent, which made Ling Ruoli feel relaxed and happy, yet distracted. She was in a very good mood, and the corners of her mouth curled up unconsciously. She felt her whole body steaming with heat. She looked up at him secretly, gazing at his handsome face, which was chiseled with a knife, in fascination, her face becoming increasingly red. What's wrong? Jiang Muye let go of Ling Ruoli awkwardly. But his palms were still hot from the fiery warmth that had come from hugging Ling Ruoli. Here. For you. Ling Ruoli mustered up all her courage, took out a pink envelope from her pocket, and handed it directly to Jiang Muye. Ling Ruoli once wrote 99 love letters to Jiang Muye. Xia Shiran wrote as many love letters as he proposed to her. All her love for Jiang Muye was transformed into words and recorded in love letters. This was the 100th love letter she wrote to Jiang Muye. This time, she stayed up for several whole nights to finish writing it. She just wanted to express her strongest love for Jiang Muye without reservation. Jiang Muye's heart beat faster when he looked at the pink envelope. He is not stupid. How could I not know what was in the pink envelope? Besides, he was very familiar with her. He had written dozens of love letters to Xia Shiran before, almost one a week. But he never expected to receive a love letter from Ling Ruoli now. Ling Ruoli lowered her oval face, too shy to meet Jiang Muye's deep eyes. Her voice was filled with joy and excitement, and she could even laugh at the air. You must watch it. And, I'll wait for you to come back. After saying that, she handed the love letter to Jiang Muye and ran away subconsciously. Too shy. She didn't dare to look at his expression when he read the love letter. So it's better to slip away quickly. Watching the girl running away, Jiang Muye felt like he was dreaming. The pink love letter still retains the unique fragrance of Ling Ruoli. Jiang Muye instantly felt that this love letter was heavy. At this moment, the system starts to remind, congratulations to their host, you have successfully signed into their high-speed rail and now you have received 1 million RMB. Congratulations to their host, you signed in on their high-speed rail for 10 minutes, and you will be rewarded with 200,000 renminbi. Congratulations to their host, you signed in for half an hour on their high-speed rail, and you will be rewarded with 500,000 renminbi. After waiting for half an hour, Jiang Muye finally got on the high-speed train with the crowded crowd. After sitting down, Jiang Muye opened the love letter. As a result, as he watched, his heart began to beat faster. At that moment, he seemed to see a miniature of himself in the letter, the foolish self who had once loved Xia Shiran to the point of being unable to extricate himself. Ask you a silly question, what should I do if I fall in love with you? I don't want to confuse you, I just want you to know that no matter how the moon waxes and wanes, or how the tides rise and fall, I will always love you. There are many people who like you, and I am not missing one, but there are few people I like, and you are enough for me. I am not a person who is good at expressing myself, but my heart has been expressing my love for you. I can't stop my heartbeat just because I want to, unless you can stop exuding your charm. You like playing basketball, you like the 3-step hurdles the most, you like wearing the number 8 jersey the most, you like to lift up your jersey to wipe the sweat off your head. Well, don't do it again in the future, I will blush when I see your abdominal muscles. If possible, can you only show them to me? Well, don't think I'm shameless. I'm already ashamed when I write this. I'm serious. I want to be the girl who cheers you on the basketball court, and I also want to be the girl who gives you water and wipes your sweat. I want to put my hand in your pocket in winter, and drink a glass of soda with you in summer. But I am too stupid, I don't know how to make you like me. Although I am stupid, I work hard. It is said that the early bird catches the worm. I wonder if I can fly up quickly. You are in my heart, shining day and night, and it will never change. Her handwriting is very clear and neat, just like her personality. The most important thing is that Jiang Muye can deeply feel the sweetness and love of a young girl in love from her words. Jiang Muye's heart was filled with warmth. Not satisfied with watching it once, he watched it several times over to savor it. At the end, Jiang Muye discovered that there was a sketch behind the love letter. After Jiang Muye saw it, he couldn't calm down for a long time. He didn't know when she drew it, but it was obviously a scene of him playing ball. He has sharp eyebrows and a determined look. He is wearing the number 8 jersey and has very strong muscles. He is dunking the ball on the playground, and sweat is dripping from the ends of his hair. Her painting was very delicate and skillful, and it definitely could not be completed in a short time. She captured all of his charm. Jiang Muye watched and suddenly started to smile foolishly. This idiot, when did he steal the painting? He has no idea. After Jiang Muye finished reading it, he smiled, folded the love letter carefully, and put it in his bag. He looked out at the sky. The sky is blue and the clouds are, well, white. His heart also became clear. His hometown, City A, is not far from here, and can be reached in just 1 hour by high-speed rail. Jiang Muye was bored, so he started to draw lots with 1,000 points of backbone. 200 points of backbone value can be used to draw a lottery once. Jiang Muye made 5 consecutive draws. I won 4 times in total, and the winning rate is very high. Congratulations to their host, I got a charm buff of 20 points. I am handsome and I have a girl. Congratulations to their host, you have gained 30 points of force, and you are invincible. Congratulations to their host, you have won a Rolex watch, which is now in your backpack. Congratulations to their host for receiving the 2-day European Emperor Experience voucher. Jiang Muye was particularly curious about the last European Emperor Experience voucher and asked, "What is the European Emperor Experience voucher?" The European Emperor Experience voucher means that you have extremely good luck within 2 days, you will win every bet, win every lottery, and become a real koi. Jiang Muye's eyes suddenly lit up. He likes this. I'm so lucky to have drawn this. Jiang Muye opened his backpack and found a Rolex watch inside. It's still the latest model. Jiang Muye had only seen it on pictures on the official website before, but now it looked particularly stylish on his wrist, and most importantly, it suited him very well. Jiang Muye couldn't let it go and kept wearing it. After arriving in City A, Jiang Muye came out of the high-speed rail station. From a distance he saw his parents, who were dressed very simply. His skin is not very white, but rather dark, but he is very honest and simple. Both my parents worked in factories and raised me with great difficulty. Look, the clothes I wear are so simple now. They must be frugal in their daily life. Now that he had the super rich system, he wanted to lead his parents to live a good life. Jiang Muye immediately decided to buy more meat tonight to have some meat for the family. But he didn't expect that everything that happened next would be completely unexpected and catch him off guard. Chapter 25. It turns out that our family is a hidden rich family. Dad, Mom. Jiang Muye called out enthusiastically. Seeing their handsome and tall son appear, Jiang's father and mother were very happy. Son, you are here. Jiang's father wanted to help Jiang Muye with his luggage, but Jiang Muye smiled and declined. No, it's not heavy, I can carry it. Okay, let's go home. Father Jiang said lovingly. Dad, Mom, we're taking a taxi over here. Where are you going? Jiang Muye watched his parents heading towards the parking lot in the opposite direction and immediately became confused. Silly boy, of course we'll take a car. Jiang's father said with a smile, why should we take a taxi? Car? How can we have a car? Jiang Muye looked confused. Normally, I can't even bear to take a taxi and would rather walk a long way to take the bus. Now you say you have a car? Did someone bring you here? Jiang Muye asked curiously. Father Jiang nodded, yes, the driver sent it. Oh, you called a special car. I guess it's Didi Chuxing. It's cheaper to call a taxi via mobile phone. Jiang's mother shook her head and said, it's either a special car or our car. Huh. Jiang Muye was completely confused. You'll know in a moment. Jiang's mother said mysteriously. Jiang Muye was even more confused. Is there anything you want to hide from him? Soon they arrived at the parking lot. Come on, dear son, get in the car. Father Jiang waved at Jiang Muye proudly. Jiang Muye suffered a severe blow. He found that his parents were leading him to a black Rolls-Royce stretched Phantom. There was a neatly dressed driver who got out of the car politely and opened the door for them. Master, Madam, Master, please get in the car. After hearing what the driver said, Jiang Muye was shocked. What's going on? Why are you still calling him Master, Madam, and Young Master? I must be dreaming. Jiang's mother smiled and said to Jiang Muye, let's talk slowly in the car. Jiang Muye quickly got into the car. This car is truly luxurious, extremely spacious and comfortable. Not only does it have a luxurious sofa, it even has a wine cabinet and a refrigerator. When Jiang Muye looked around in surprise, he found that his parents were looking at him seriously, son, you have to be prepared for what we are going to say next. Jiang Muye swallowed his saliva and said, could it be that I was taken away from the hospital by mistake and am actually the only child of some wealthy man? He has copied all the scenes from TV. Son, how could such a melodramatic plot happen? Jiang's mother rolled her eyes at Jiang Muye. What is that? Jiang Muye is now full of curiosity. Father Jiang took a deep breath and said, your aunt inherited billions of dollars in assets, and now you are her only heir. When she dies in the future, all the billions of dollars in assets will be yours. What? Jiang Muye was shocked. My aunt, didn't you say that my aunt went to Africa to work? Is it possible to make so much money working there? Jiang's father said, I was just kidding you. She went abroad to get married, but she married a rich old man who could be her grandfather. Now the old man is dead and she has no children. She decided to make you the heir to her property, so she returned home. A huge fortune falls from the sky. Jiang Muye was completely shocked. When he was a child, he had imagined that he was a rich boy who was taken away by mistake, or a wealthy man whose parents pretended to be poor because they were afraid that he would squander their wealth. However, this never happened. But his parents are not rich, but his aunt is rich. Jiang Muye was extremely delighted. The system really didn't deceive him. The European Emperor Experience Voucher is so cool. Jiang Muye felt so happy. Soon, the driver drove to a super luxurious villa, which was no worse than the duplex sea view villa in Jiangling Garden given by the system. It can be said to be very luxurious. Jiang Muye had just gotten off the car when he heard a very happy voice. Makino, you're here. Jiang Muye looked over and saw a beautifully dressed woman running towards him. This was the first time he met his aunt. He had only seen her in photos before, and at that time he knew that his aunt was a super beauty. Now that I see her, I feel that she is even prettier than in the photo. Moreover, so many years have passed, and she has maintained herself very well. She looks to be in her early 30s. You can't tell that she is almost 50. Are you my aunt? Jiang Muye asked blankly. Yes, Makino is really a handsome man. When your aunt left, you were just a little kid, drinking milk in your cradle, and now you have grown into such a handsome boy. Aunt said with a smile, come on, come in, this is your home. My home? Jiang Muye was shocked. My aunt smiled and said, I bought this house especially for you. It's my gift to you. Jiang Muye didn't expect his aunt to be so generous. He was flattered and said, Aunt, no, I can't accept it. Give a mansion as a gift upon meeting? It directly refreshed Jiang Muye's perspective. We are family. You are my heir, and what's mine is yours. You can't bring it with you when you are born, and you can't take it with you when you die. I, your aunt, am happy to spend money on my heir. The aunt was very confident. But it's nothing. Let's go. You must be hungry. Auntie has prepared a table of delicious food for you. Auntie touched Jiang Muye's head lovingly. The more she looked at Jiang Muye, the more satisfied she became. What a kind young man, with a good family background and good looks. It's such an honor to be her heir. Besides, blood is thicker than water. I felt close to him the first time I saw him and couldn't help but want to be nice to him. My aunt felt that her idea of making Jiang Muye the heir was correct. Even if she were to train a new heir, could she find someone better than her nephew? Besides, good things should be kept within the family. Naturally, my aunt still wanted to leave the property to her own family. After all, how could she give away the property that she had earned through hard work and youth for free to others? When Jiang Muye arrived at the restaurant, he was completely stunned. There were more than 40 dishes on the table, which filled up the table completely. Each dish was presented on a plate with carvings. Well, it was a delicacy that he couldn't normally afford. It looks very expensive. As if sensing Jiang Muye's surprise, the aunt smiled and said, I don't know what you like to eat, so I prepared a little bit of everything. I have prepared all 8 major cuisines. If it's not enough, tell me. That's enough, auntie. Jiang Muye still couldn't finish all the dishes even if he ate them for a week. That's good. Auntie began to pick up food for Jiang Muye, very enthusiastically. The food in Jiang Muye's bowl was already full to the point of overflowing. It was only because Jiang Muye said it was too much that his aunt stopped serving more food. It's so enthusiastic. Eat slowly, the lawyer will be here soon, said my aunt with a smile. Lawyer. What is this for? Chapter 26 Billionaire Heir. I just want you to sign a property inheritance agreement. This is a big deal, and your aunt needs to finalize it as soon as possible. Although I'm still old, it's hard to say which will come first, an accident or an illness. Aunt sighed. Aunt, don't say that. You will definitely live a long life. Jiang Muye said firmly. Then my aunt started to giggle and said, well, I will definitely live a long life. I want to see you get married and have children as soon as possible. Puff. Jiang Muye was eating when he was suddenly frightened by his aunt's words and almost spit out his food. Aunt. I'm still young, not so early. Jiang Muye's face flushed. It's not too early. You're at marriageable age now. You're 22 and can start a family and build a career. My aunt said with a smile. Jiang's mother said, your aunt is right. Your father already had you when he was your age. Jiang Muye scratched his head and said, this era is different now. What's wrong? Is Sharon unwilling? Father Jiang noticed something and asked. Jiang Muye had been eager to get married before. Why don't you want to get married now? As an old father, he definitely understands his son, and he probably thinks that something went wrong with Sharon. Jiang Muye sighed and said, Dad, Mom, to be honest, I have given up on Sharon. She and I are from two different worlds. I am a fish and she is a flying bird, so I have broken off my engagement with her. Although Jiang's father and mother were surprised, they quickly began to comfort Jiang Muye. It's okay. The child marriage doesn't count anyway. Just think of it as a joke. That's right, my son is so outstanding, he will definitely be able to find a better girl. My aunt nodded and said, Muye, it's okay. She didn't want to be with you because she was blind. You are no longer the same as before, but you are my nephew. There are so many girls throwing themselves at you. Why worry? I promise to find you a better girl. Aunt, thank you for your kindness. I just want to study hard now. After all, I am a student now. After hearing Jiang Muye's words, his aunt was very impressed. That's great. My vision is right. You didn't get carried away just because you're going to inherit a large fortune. You know how to be down to earth. I'm relieved. There's a banquet the day after tomorrow. I'll take you out to see the world and make some connections. Thank you, Aunt. After dinner, the lawyer arrived. Jiang Muye was stunned when he saw the full list of properties on the inheritance book. More than 30 luxury villas at home and abroad. More than 40 stores and 20 shopping malls around the world. 40 chain enterprise companies. 2 sets of private beaches. The largest piece of property among them is the Chen Group that my aunt inherited from her husband. My God, the Chen Group is one of the top 10 largest companies in Asia. So now he is the first heir to Chen's enterprise. The future CEO. No wonder my aunt is looking for an heir now, which is equivalent to looking for the future person in charge of the Chen Group. Jiang Muye's breathing stagnated, he was already shocked. He started signing immediately. If you don't grab such a big pie when it falls, you'd be an idiot. In this way, Jiang Muye successfully became his aunt's first heir. After his aunt passed away, all the property under her name belonged to Jiang Muye. Logically, I have to attend my cousin's wedding tomorrow, so I have to go to bed early. But how can I sleep in such a situation? Just when Jiang Muye was in a good mood, his cell phone rang with a reminder. Jiang Muye opened it and found that it was a message from Leng Ruoli. Leng Ruoli, the moon is very round tonight, have a good dream. A picture of the moon at night is posted at the back. The hazy and bright moon hangs in the sky, bringing with it a sense of artistic conception. Jiang Muye's eyes softened after seeing this. He subconsciously looked at the moon outside. At this moment, Leng Ruoli was lying on a rabbit pillow, holding a mobile phone in her hand, waiting for news. Ding dong. There's news. Leng Ruoli was very excited and clicked it immediately. Then I found that Jiang Muye sent me a picture. A faint crescent moon hangs in the night sky. It was obviously his moon. Leng Ruoli felt the urge to fly over and watch the moon with him. It was strange. He had only been gone for 6 hours, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, so why did she miss him so much? Then another voice message came from the other side of WeChat. Good night. A magnetic male voice sounded. Leng Ruoli's face began to heat up. She immediately started to reply, "Good night." Then Leng Ruoli slid her finger upwards and clicked on Jiang Muye's recording, playing it repeatedly. "It sounds so good. I never get tired of listening to it." Leng Ruoli's mouth was raised high in a frown and she couldn't lift it down at all. My face started to get hot for no reason. Leng Ruoli subconsciously used the rabbit pillow to cover her face, but her exposed ears couldn't help but reveal signs of redness. Autumn mornings are beautiful, and the air is filled with the scent of spring grass. The wedding is about to be held on the endless grassland. The scene has been decorated in a particularly beautiful and romantic way, and a large number of people have gathered there. Everyone was talking to each other happily, when suddenly a tall figure appeared and immediately grabbed everyone's attention. He was wearing a black suit, his black hair was styled with mousse and stood up, his sideburns were flying, welcoming the morning dew and morning light, and he looked extremely handsome. He is obviously not the groom, but he attracts more attention than the groom. Some girls have already started to blush and kept looking at him. They began to ask questions to those who knew the situation like crazy. "Who is he? He's so handsome, is he a star?" The other party replied, "He is the groom's cousin. But I was really surprised that he could come. I thought he would not want to show up at the wedding." This made the girls wonder, why? He's in love. He's obsessed with the school's most beautiful girl and proposed to her 99 times, but each time he failed. He must be the laughingstock of his school now. While others were gloating over his misfortune, my cousin's unhappy voice rang out, "You are wrong. Not only did he not become a laughingstock in their school, but he became a celebrity instead." The person being criticized blushed immediately. "He has been rejected so many times for proposing, he must be notorious. He is a bootlicker, no matter how many times he proposes, the other party is not interested in him. You only know one side of the story. Do you know that the school beauty he proposed to 99 times has now even pursued him to his wedding?" said the cousin confidently. "What? Impossible." This shocked everyone. My cousin pointed at a pretty figure walking towards Jiang Muye not far away and said, "This is the real evidence." Chapter 27 Proposal. Jiang Muye looked at the girl in a white dress in front of him in surprise. She was very beautiful, with fair skin, and she was smiling at him. Her rosy cheeks were like bright peach petals, and her big watery eyes looked at him sincerely. It seems to contain thousands of words, and is particularly affectionate. "Why are you here?" Jiang Muye asked in a deep voice. Xia Shiran said shyly, "What's wrong? If you can attend the wedding, why can't I? Besides, I know your cousin too, he definitely won't mind paying an extra share of the money." In fact, she missed him. So even if their high-speed rail tickets were sold out, she would still take a 2 or 3 hour train ride. Even if she vomited from the ride, she would still appear in front of him. Not to mention that she had the most important and sacred thing to do. Jiang Muye was silent. He really had no way to restrict Xia Shiran's personal freedom and prevent her from appearing here. But it doesn't matter, no matter what she does, he will not be shaken. Even though she was walking around in his world, Jiang Muye remained calm and unperturbed. "Whatever you want," Jiang Muye said coldly, then turned and walked out. Xia Shiran immediately chased after him, completely becoming his little tail, and asked, "Are you thirsty? Do you want to drink something?" "No need," Jiang Muye said expressionlessly. "Can we sit together for a while?" Xia Shiran asked shyly. "I don't want to," Jiang Muye said bluntly. Xia Shiran's heart trembled for a moment, and she forced a smile. "I'm not familiar with them, so I have nothing to say." "I have nothing to say to you." Jiang Muye looked directly at Xia Shiran and said coldly, "Don't follow me." Xia Shiran's eyes were full of grievance, her lips moved, she wanted to say something but she could only bite her lips, she couldn't say anything. Everyone was very surprised when they saw Xia being rejected by Jiang Muye. The girls even began to question the boy who just said Jiang Muye was not a good boy. "Is this called a dog licker? Where did he lick? He is cool, okay. Yeah, I only saw girls chasing boys. Did you hear that from hearsay?" The boy who was being criticized was immediately criticized to the point where he had difficulty refutation. He himself was confused. What went wrong here? Didn't he say that school beauty Xia ignored Jiang Muye and Jiang Muye couldn't he get her love? But the actual situation was completely different from what he saw today. The wedding was held soon, and Xia Shiran naturally couldn't sit next to Jiang Muye. She could only sit next to him, back to back with Jiang Muye. This was the only time she could be close to Jiang Muye. When Xia Shiran saw the bride appear, she immediately became envious. If she wore a wedding dress and was in the wedding hall with Jiang Muye, it would definitely be a very romantic scene. I will also get everyone's blessings just like I do now. Xia Shiran looked at the cold boy next to her with admiration, her little face flushed pink and rosy. But now she could only watch his back from a distance. Xia Shiran bit her thin, red lips. She regretted very much that it would have been great if she had agreed before. That way, she wouldn't break up with him. My cousin and his wife came to toast. Xia Shiran saw that Jiang Muye's glass was filled to the brim, and subconsciously said to Jiang Muye's cousin, "His stomach is not good, I will drink for him." But Jiang Muye took the wine glass coldly and drank it all. "I'm not as fragile as you think, and you're not as important as you think." Xia Shiran's face turned pale, tears welling up in her eyes. He still didn't forgive her. After the newlyweds' toast, it is time to present the flowers. Jiang Muye had no interest in grabbing the bouquet. After all, he had no intention of getting married now, and he didn't want to get involved in this mess. Jiang Muye heard the sound of a chair moving next to him. As a result, he was very surprised to find that Xia Shiran was eager to try. "She wants to grab the bouquet?" Under Jiang Muye's surprised gaze, Xia Shiran went straight to the crowd who were about to receive the bouquet. She has a relatively gentle personality and is never the type to fight for anything. After all, what she wants has already been prepared for her. Bare hands. But this time, Jiang Muye saw that Xia Shiran was completely determined. She was much more ferocious than usual. She was fighting with a group of people for the bouquet. It was obvious that she had no advantage, but she was able to use all her strength at the critical moment and desperately protect the bouquet in her arms. Even though she was pushed to the ground, her hair was a little messy from the struggle, and her skirt was stepped on several times, but she still held the bouquet tightly. Xia Shiran fell to the ground and curled up into a ball. Jiang Muye's lips moved as he watched this scene, with a hint of complexity in his eyes. However, Xia Shiran, who fell down, didn't feel any air. Instead, she smiled brightly because she grabbed the bouquet. She fixed her eyes on Jiang Muye, raised the bouquet in her hand, and shouted loudly, "I got it." Xia Shiran had her hair disheveled, but she was still radiant. Jiang Muye frowned and found that she was walking towards him step by step. "I naively thought that no matter how far I ran, you would always be there waiting for me. But now I understand how wrong I was. Why should I feel so noble and make you, who likes me so much, so humble? You made me realize that eating alone is not as happy as eating with someone, sleeping alone is not as warm as sleeping with someone, and walking alone at night without someone else may not be able to go on." Xia Shiran looked at Jiang Muye tenderly and smiled faintly. Then, in front of everyone, she knelt on one knee, took out a diamond ring, and said to Jiang Muye, "Since you won't propose to me for the 100th time, please allow me to do it." "Jiang Muye, I love you, are you willing to marry me?" Everyone present was shocked. No one expected that someone would start proposing at weddings. And it was a girl proposing to a boy. The chances of this happening are too rare, which shows that a girl has to like a boy a lot before she can take the risk. Not to mention that this girl is a super beauty. After a while, everyone started talking about it. "I envy him so much. It was the beautiful Leng Ruoli who proposed to him. If it were me, I would have agreed right away. This young man has a promising future. I'm in my 30s and still single, and no woman has proposed to me, but he looks like he's only in his early 20s and has such an honor. Who said it wasn't true? Comparing yourself to others is really frustrating. Okay, young man, just agree to it." When everyone was urging Jiang Muye to agree to Xia Shiran, Jiang Muye was unusually calm. This calmness gave Xia Shiran a sense of panic. Chapter 28. You can get my body, but not my heart. She only saw his cold eyes pass over her and he said quietly, "I will not marry you." Xia Shiran's expression suddenly turned very ugly. Everyone around was shocked. How can you refuse such a beautiful fairy? This young man's vision is going to the sky. An uncle immediately advised Jiang Muye, saying, "Think about it carefully. The girl loves you so much, how can you bear to reject her? You are too cruel." Xia Shiran burst into tears and said, "Uncle, don't say that about him, he is not that kind of person. If rejecting her once is considered cruel, then her rejecting me is a heinous crime." Jiang Muye laughed at himself. It doesn't mean that all deep love can be rewarded with true love. At least my sincerity was cruelly betrayed once. I won't take back what I have lost, and I won't look back for what I have missed. He looked directly at Xia Shiran and said, things that cannot be obtained will always cause unrest. Ask yourself, do you love me as a person, or do you love my unwillingness to not be able to obtain me? He doesn't need belated infatuation. He had already decided that he would do it no matter what happened. But if he decides he doesn't want it, he won't keep it no matter what. Xia Shiran said anxiously, of course I love you as a person. Really? Jiang Muye smiled sarcastically, then why did you reject my proposal 99 times before coming back to me? He pursed his lips and said, I have been your backup from the beginning to the end. When this backup might fall into the hands of someone else, you get nervous and concerned. You are unwilling to accept it. You want to save it and even want to take it back, right? Perhaps without her giving up and Leng Ruoli's pursuit, Xia Shiran would still have ignored her. He had lost all hope and didn't want to have any emotional involvement with Xia Shiran. Jiang Muye's sharp words did not give Xia Shiran any face at all. Xia Shiran panicked, her whole body trembled with pain, tears raged down her cheeks, and her voice became hoarse on the spot. No, it's not like that, I don't treat you as a backup. If you propose to me 100 times, I will agree, but you didn't give me this chance. Why should I give it to you? How can I be sure that the 100th proposal will be the last one? What if I need another 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 times? Since you decided to agree after the 100th time, then were the previous 99 confessions just teasing me? Jiang Muye scolded. Xia Shiran burst into tears and shook her head, But I couldn't say a word in reply. Jiang Muye said resolutely, please don't disturb my life in the future. Then he turned to his cousin and said, I'm sorry to disturb your wedding. It's okay. My cousin was very generous. I'll treat you to a meal some other day. I wish you and sister-in-law a happy marriage and a son soon. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Jiang Muye said calmly and then left the wedding scene. Jiang Muye. I really love you. Xia Shiran shouted at the tall figure, but the other party did not even spare a glance and left the scene resolutely. Xia Shiran covered his chest and felt a heart-wrenching pain. She cried so sadly that her eyes were swollen and her makeup was smudged. She kept holding the sparkling DR ring and crying miserably. Everyone looked at Xia Shiran with sympathy, and some people tried to comfort her, but Xia Shiran kept crying. She was so heartbroken that she picked up the wine glass on the table and took a sip. She couldn't drink, and when she took the first sip, she felt a particularly strong spicy taste, which immediately choked her and made her cough. Xia Shiran hesitated for just a few seconds, but was provoked by Jiang Muye's ruthless look, so she gritted her teeth and finished the glass of wine. After finishing one cup, I want another. Seeing Xia Shiran hurt by love, the cousin advised, drink less. Actually, what my cousin said was unintentional. Maybe you hurt him too deeply before. Xia Shiran smiled bitterly and said, yes, I hurt him too deeply, so I deserve it. I deserve it. It's normal for him to ignore me. As she said this, she drank up the glass of wine in one gulp. At this moment, her beautiful face was covered with tears. The alcohol took over her, her cheeks flushed, and she fell drunk on the table, crying and laughing, I deserve it, who made me a slut? Woo-woo, it's all my fault. Those who see it feel sympathy, and those who hear it feel sad. But what can we do? Love is something that is hard to understand and hard to force, and you can't stay together forever just by wishing for it. Even if you are heartbroken, it's just the pain and sleeplessness you suffer alone. Xia Shiran thought that if she cried and made a fuss, he would come back. But until their wedding was over, no one else showed up. Xia Shiran knew that he had lost everything. After leaving the wedding scene, Jiang Muye returned to his aunt's house. My aunt has asked the counter staff to send a bunch of luxury goods, either clothes, men's bags, watches, or brand-name sneakers. Come here, these are all picked out by your aunt. Take a look and see which one you like and wear it to the party tomorrow. The aunt asked Jiang Muye with a smile. Jiang Muye was dazzled by all this. He didn't expect the treatment to be so good. Aunt, this is too much. Jiang Muye actually didn't have any pursuit for luxury goods. He just wanted the clothes to be comfortable and he didn't care too much about whether they were expensive or not. Jiang Muye was still surprised that so many luxury goods had arrived. As a result, my aunt burst out laughing and said, "That's not a lot, my silly nephew. I even had a bunch of them custom made and I'll send them to you when the time comes." "What else?" Jiang Muye was dumbfounded. "Of course, if others have it, my nephew must have it. If you have anything else you like, just tell your aunt directly and I will buy it for you." Aunt smiled. She is serious about doting on her nephew. After all, he is her heir in the future. If she doesn't treat him well, who else can she treat well? Jiang Muye felt like he had reached the peak of his life all of a sudden. These things that ordinary boys dream of have become within his reach. "Aunt, these are enough for me. As expected of my nephew, you know how to be content. You are really pitiful. You must have suffered a lot in the past to be so sensible. Now that your aunt is here, she will definitely not let you continue to suffer." My aunt subconsciously handed Jiang Muye a bank card and said, "Keep this card. I will give you 10 million every week as your pocket money. You must spend it all by the end of the month. You are not allowed to save money for me." Jiang Muye was surprised. Is this even possible? 10 million a week, that would be 40 million a month. 40 million as pocket money? That's too extravagant. You can buy a villa with it. Chapter 29. Brother Jiang is the favorite at the banquet. Jiang Muye said to his aunt, "Aunt, this is too much. I don't need it." The aunt immediately said to Jiang Muye angrily, "Silly child, why are you still being polite to your aunt? As a successor, you must know how to make money and spend money. If you don't know how to spend money, what's the point of making money? If you don't listen to your aunt, she will be angry with you." Seeing that his aunt was competing with him, Jiang Muye could only agree and said, "Okay." Aunt nodded with satisfaction, then picked up a few sets of clothes and said to Jiang Muye, "Come on, change into them and show them to aunt to see if they fit you. We have a very important banquet to attend tomorrow." Jiang Muye nodded and went to change. It is true that people need clothes, and these brand name clothes look different when worn on the body. Jiang Muye felt a little more casual and noble. After seeing him dressed, his aunt praised him non-stop and immediately ordered one of the suits for Jiang Muye to wear at the banquet tomorrow. Jiang Muye also liked it and agreed. The next day, it was getting dark. Aunt took Jiang Muye to a banquet at a 5-star hotel. Before leaving, he also said that he would prepare a mysterious surprise for Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye was puzzled. Mysterious surprise? What is that? But fortunately we will know soon. Jiang Muye is still looking forward to it. The banquet was filled with cheers and was attended by many people from the upper class, including many dignitaries and many big stars. This was a completely different world that Jiang Muye had never been able to experience as a student before, and he achieved a class leap in an instant. System reply, ding successful signing in for the banquet, reward you with 1 million renminbi. When the aunt brought Jiang Muye out with a smile on her face, many people's eyes were on the fair and handsome Jiang Muye. But apart from being polite to Jiang Muye's aunt, he ignored Jiang Muye. After all, they all thought that the guy their aunt brought was just a gigolo, probably someone who was being kept by someone. They were used to it in this circle. Some people even smiled contemptuously at Jiang Muye. Jiang Muye curled his lips coldly, with disdain. He stood there, just drinking his wine quietly, not showing much interest in these people. However, my aunt noticed the discriminatory looks from outsiders and became a little unhappy. This is too much. He actually dared to neglect her nephew and didn't give her face. So the aunt took Jiang Muye to the bosses and introduced them with a smile. "Boss Chi, Boss Jiang, this is my nephew Jiang Muye, my heir and the future successor of the Chen Group." Shock. This young man is not just a kept gigolo, he has an important background. He is actually the future successor of Chen Group. God, the Chen Group is a well-known large group. As the successor, Jiang Muye not only has a bright future, but his net worth is definitely over 100 million. The bosses who had originally disdained Jiang Muye suddenly became enthusiastic after knowing his identity. So he is Mrs. Chen's heir. What a handsome man. He's really handsome, and a good match for my daughter. I just don't know if he'll be interested in my little girl. I have 2 daughters. I can introduce them to you. Jiang Muye showed no interest after hearing this. Let them fight as they please. Now there are more and more people coming to flatter me. Is this the world of rich people? They change their attitude faster than turning the pages of a book. They were so cold just now, but now they start to make friends with me. Jiang Muye said to his aunt calmly, I'll go eat something nearby. My aunt nodded and let him go. No one else dared to say anything. Even though Jiang Muye was cold, no one dared to find fault. After all, he is the future successor of the Chen group, and no one present can afford to offend him. Jiang Muye glanced at the buffet area. The food here was very exquisite and made to look unaffordable. When he picked some food and put it on the plate, he suddenly heard a bang, and something seemed to spill on his shirt, which was immediately soaked. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. The waitress' eyes were red, and she was obviously feeling very guilty. She had never expected to bump into Jiang Muye when she went to get the wine glass. How about I compensate you? It's okay. Jiang Muye didn't pursue the matter any further. The red wine stain is not large and can be washed off. Besides, it doesn't seem like the other person did it on purpose. Thank you. The waitress nodded gratefully. Jiang Muye was about to deal with the red wine stain on his shirt. He picked up a wet towel and wiped it, but the stain became deeper and deeper. This won't work. I have a solution. When Jiang Muye was struggling with the stain, a familiar female voice sounded. Jiang Muye raised his head in astonishment. Is it you? The wash basin in the toilet. Jiang Muye leaned against the marble sink, his black suit casually taken off and thrown aside. While her slender fingers were resting on the edge of the sink, a slim and sexy figure was lying in front of him, busy with something. Cole. Jiang Muye took a breath. The other person's cold hands and the warm towel formed a world of ice and fire. Jiang Muye's body trembled sensitively. As soon as he trembled, the girl in front of him blushed and asked, Did I hurt you? Her clear and innocent eyes were as pure as a fawn. She bit her red lips, worried about him. Jiang Muye couldn't help but smile. It's okay, it's just that my shirt got wet and it's a little cold. It will be done soon. Leng Ruoli smiled. White wine and salt mixed together can effectively remove stains. She lowered her head and continued to wipe the stains on his shirt with a hot towel. I don't know. Jiang Muye laughed. I'm a girl, and I'll have to take care of my husband in the future, so I have to understand a little bit. Leng Ruoli said casually, and immediately felt the boy's fiery gaze. She suddenly felt ashamed for her outspokenness, so she quickened her pace and said, Okay. Jiang Muye nodded, Thank you. He looked down at his shirt and saw that the stain was gone. Jiang Muye used the blow dryer and the shirt was soon dry. There was no sign that red wine had just been spilled on it. I'm lucky to meet you today. Jiang Muye curled his lips. I happened to receive the invitation, so I came. Leng Ruoli's eyelashes were gracefully lowered. In fact, she didn't say one thing. She flew over only after she was sure that he was on the list. Otherwise she would have no interest in this kind of banquet. That's quite a coincidence. Jiang Muye felt a little embarrassed. After all, he had just received Leng Ruoli's love letter, and he didn't have much experience in relationships, so he was a little helpless when facing such a sincere girl. Have you found a female companion? Leng Ruoli bit her cherry lips with her pearly teeth and asked cautiously. Female companion.